Gaming news today is all about exciting things. First, I believe recent developments point to a 60 FPS mode actually being very likely in GTA 6. I've got an upload coming later today about it. Be sure to check that out. I walk through the recent developments. I look at the behavior of Rockstar. I also look at the gaming community and the industry at large and how this topic of 60 FPS has really changed over the years. So be sure to check out that upload. I think this is a good topic. I think it's a good discussion. I'd be interested to know what you guys think. But that's not the only thing going on that I think is exciting in the gaming news. The new Assassin's Creed Shadows gameplay has revealed not just lots and lots of gameplay, but we also now have information on the PS5 Pro enhancements, as well as just the performance of the game on the base consoles. And this game, in my opinion, just looks better and better. And speaking of getting better and better, third, Bethesda has exciting things planned for Starfield this year. What could those things be? Is this related to the rumors that we've heard about the game or other Xbox exclusives and things that have been going on with Xbox publishing efforts recently? We'll have to take a look at it. And as always, I do have a game for your wish list and your radar, and this game was another one that was just announced, and it's releasing this summer. 2025 just cannot get full enough with games. Now, if you're watching this later, do me a favor and smash that like button. It helps the video. If you're here live, double check. Like count's been weird lately. It sometimes doesn't save your like. And we are on the cusp of a huge milestone on this channel. Our goal this year is to really get more folks supporting the channel directly with a membership. It's a huge asset to what we do, having that community that backs the show. It really frees us to not have to do sponsored content, to just create shows and cover news and gameplay for you, as well as do other segments. So if you want to support the channel directly, hit join. Make sure you pick Member Plus. It's $6 a month. I've been saying that's basically a cup of coffee a month, and you get into a bunch of extra shows and content, morning coffee segment, green room segment, streams with my wife, and it does support the channel directly. If you can't support directly, we understand. We gift memberships all the time, so make sure you're here as often as possible. Let's jump right into this. What is going on with GTA 6? Well, in case you missed it, we had a small debate about this yesterday, and Rockstar has been very, very busy with GTA 5 as of late. And as I said, I've got a video coming later today. I walk through all of the details of the various things that they have been doing, but I also look at the recent developments in the gaming world dating all the way back to 2022. I believe it all started in that year with a particular game. So be sure to check out that video later today. Thanks to everybody who's been supporting our uploads, my Split Fiction review. I also have the video about The Last of Us Part 3, and when you guys watch those videos, it is extremely helpful. And we're trying a new format. We're putting those videos later in the day so they have a chance to kind of breathe instead of getting stepped on by this live environment. So feel free to chime in the comments below or be here for the live discussion. I'm curious if you guys think, is GTA 6 going to be 60 FPS? There's been a lot of commentary about it. Now, the other thing that's got me pretty excited is this new footage of Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now, we have seen games from Ubisoft grow in worseness, if that's a phrase that we can say, right? They just sort of degrade over time. If you can remember the Star Wars Outlaws trailer, the first time that it showed up, I mean, it looked incredible. And then every single time we saw Star Wars Outlaws after that, it looked worse and worse and worse. Well, Assassin's Creed Shadows looks better and better and better the more I see it. This video is called Dual Paths, Naue and Yasuke walkthrough video, okay? And it's basically 20 minutes. This is 20 minutes of new gameplay. This to me is a whole lot of confidence. They're comparing both the stealth and the combat gameplay of each of the protagonists, and it just looks great in my opinion. They also published a blog outlining all the various things you can do with your hideout. It's very extensive. It really reminds me of the Room of Requirement in Hogwarts Legacy. You can kind of build and design and decorate to your heart's content. Basically, simulate your own hideout as an assassin. They also outlined the PS5 Pro enhancements, and MASH does a 50 bomb during my show open. You are a lunatic. But listen to these PS5 Pro enhancements. Performance mode is going to run at 2160 upscaled, 60 FPS with standard ray tracing. They will also have a fidelity mode running at 2160 upscaled, 30 FPS with extended ray tracing. Then there will be a balanced mode. You do need a 120 or 240 hertz display with HDMI 2.1, which will again be the 2160 upscaled at 40 FPS, and you will get what's called extended ray tracing, which is the same as the fidelity mode. Now, The extended ray tracing is going to offer not just global illumination with standard ray tracing, but it's also going to have reflective surfaces throughout the game world. Now, if you do the performance mode, you're just going to get that standard, you're going to get that normal ray tracing, which is just global illumination for diffuse lighting throughout the entire game world. So this means that the performance mode on the PS5 Pro is going to be a 4K image with global illumination, ray tracing, and 60 FPS. I think that's why these trailers look so stinking good. I really hope it runs well everywhere. I hope they've done a good job with optimization. It's been a bit of a problem lately. I think this all sounds fantastic. Just a little mention that we are hearing the Rise of the Ronin PC port is really bad. The PC guys are having a rough go at it lately with bad ports of games. Now, as far as exciting things being the theme of today, apparently Starfield has exciting things on the way. The official Starfield account took to social media to post the following response to a question about what is next. They said, quote, "We know you're eager for an update and we truly appreciate your passion for Starfield. The team has been hard at work, and while we're not ready to share specific details just yet, we have a lot of exciting things planned for the game this year that we can't wait to talk about when the time is right. We're always listening and taking your feedback to heart. Thanks for being part of this journey with us." Now, up to now, they've been very quiet about Starfield. Okay, the Shattered Space DLC did terribly. Its user and critical response was abysmal. And we did have one person claim that they had heard there was a big code-altering update that was in the works. And I thought maybe that's why Shattered Space was so meager and thin. Maybe the crux and the bulk of the team is focusing on something else, right? Which I think could be related to it coming to the PlayStation. I do think that's going to happen. At this point, basically every game is coming to the PlayStation, according to even those who are very, very much on Xbox's side of the aisle. Even they have admitted that is basically happening. Now, here's the thing. Nobody corroborated the claim about the code-altering update, and oddly enough, with how leaky Xbox has been lately, we're hearing about Gears and the Gears Collection and E-Day and Fable. We are not hearing anything about Starfield, which is a little strange. Now, this could be related to the fact that they are working on some kind of a big update and a push to PS5, and they're keeping it very quiet. They want that to be a surprise. Like, they need this big 2.0 moment to happen. Or it could be more foreboding than that. Maybe it's going very quiet because they're axing or canceling lots of plans with the game. I don't know. I think the former is more likely. I think they are potentially working on something big, and they do want to bring it to the PS5, and they want it to be in a much better state than it currently is, especially given the commercial and critical reception to Shattered Space. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But again, they've made it clear Starfield is getting something this year, and we'll have to wait and see what that is. Now, I do have a game for your wish list and your radar, and this literally got announced yesterday. RoboCop Rogue City Unfinished Business. Now, the name is a bit confusing. Some people might think that is DLC. It is a standalone follow-up to the 2023 game. It's going to launch on PlayStation 5, Series X and S, and PC. Additional details, including features, system specs, release date, will be revealed in the coming weeks and months. So you cannot wish list this game just yet, but I did want to put this on your radar, especially because it's coming this summer. This is another game that just kind of came out of nowhere. If you remember the game I showed you the other day called Blades of Fire, not Blades of Steel. Blades of Steel, it's Blades of Fire. And that was just announced, and it's coming out in May. And this thing was just announced, and it's coming out in the summer. 2025 is so full. The seams of the calendar are going to bust. There's just so much going on. So very, very excited for people that like this. I actually enjoyed the little that I played of this. This is definitely a backlog game for me, and now I've kind of got a reason to go back and finish it. They're doing a sequel. So that's the news. Now it's time for the discussion. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And Han shot first, and so did you. Joker Quinn with a single gifted, but then a 50 bomb from MASH decides that we've got to go all the way the distance today, he says, and we're going to go to 526. Now, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to have to make this a big one, okay? Because you just unlocked tonight. I knew you were going to unlock tonight. So Madam and I will keep playing Split Fiction tonight. If you missed us playing last night, it was hysterical. She was watching the wrong screen at one point, and it was probably my favorite moment of the night. It was pretty funny because she thought that I died. So make sure and watch that. But we're going to play some more tonight. And I'm giving you a bigger stretch goal than usual because I'll give you a Saturday night stream. Now, Saturday night's kind of our night, okay? I'm willing to give you another stream of Split Fiction Saturday night, but I am going to make the goal a little higher than usual because, you know, Madam will get a little grumpy with me if we have to do a Saturday night stream, but I'll be like, babe, they brought the heat. We got to give them a show, right? And I know Saturdays are a little bit easier for more people to show up. Thank you, Sal, for doing a Member Plus. That renewal counts in the total, unless, of course, that was an upgrade. If that was an upgrade, you get to count as 2. Thank you so much for doing that. We are 5 people away. We are so stinking close to a huge goal that we have set for the channel. The goal for this year is we would like to have 1,000 people paying for their own members. It really does empower us to do more as a channel. And we are the closest we've ever been. That was an upgrade. Thank you, Sal. We are at 597. We're 3 people away. We have never been this close to that 600 milestone. Holy mackerel. Thank you, everybody who continues to upgrade and pick up your own memberships. That is huge. That is absolutely huge. 3 people. You can either sign up brand new for Member Plus or upgrade and get us there, and we will celebrate with an IRL stream. Cannot wait to hit that milestone with you guys. The new gameplay trailer for Hell Is Us. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. I was watching the AC stuff. I was writing my script. I had an appointment with my cardiologist. Then I came back. I made my GTA video for you guys about I think you're going to like my video. I'm not trying to hype. I'm not trying to give people false hope. I'm doing basic analysis of Rockstar's behavior and the industry's behavior and the subject of 30 FPS. Lone will get the 4 other garbage men, and I will be 600 NorCal garbage man out. Just do it now. What are you waiting for, Jason? You platinumed RoboCop on the PS5 Pro? Man, it was such a solid game. I should go back and finish it. I really should, you know? Do it on stream. Do what on stream? Oh, you want to see the Hell Is Us trailer? Too many games, 100%. There's too many games. And Crash Bandicoot upgrades the Member Plus. That counts as 2. We are at 530. We're a 20 bomb away from 550. I actually will owe you guys some more members. Oh my gosh, we might actually do it today. We've been working on this goal for like 6 months. It is so difficult. It really is difficult for memberships on YouTube. It's very much not a thing on YouTube. It's a very Twitch thing. And we're at 598. That's the highest we've ever been. Another record has just been set. We are 2 people away. Thank you so much. So much, Trash Bandicoot. Again, the big goal for the channel is 1,000, and you guys are getting us there. And Alex does the 10 bomb and gets us halfway to the 550. The 20 bomb that we needed, he says, I'll be of half, and he's hoping for somebody else to do the other half. Thank you so much, Alex Witter. Forge your own unique weapons in Blades of Fire. Hands-on with the Mercury Seems new action game. Somebody got hands-on. Oh, PlayStation's promoting the game. Really? All right, let's take a look here. So PlayStation has looks like a blog here about Blades of Fire. Blades of Steel. So here's Blades of Fire hands-on report from PlayStation. And it looks like, is this a new... Oh, for Pete's sakes. Okay. Yeah, is this the announced trailer? Yeah, this is the 7-day-old trailer. Okay, so there's nothing new there. Hey, I recognize that thumbnail. Plucky Squire, we've been having the opportunity to come back, blah, blah, blah. Forge. For example, a blade's length can affect the damage that it inflicts. Which type of steel changes the weapon's laceration? Wow, so they're going that level of, like, you're literally investing into, like, every part of the blade. Oh, look at this. Look at this, like, mini game of where you're hitting. Man, this game's going to be... I think this game's going to be cool, dude. I think that game is going to be really cool. WGC does a Member Plus. Thank you so much, WGC. Let me know if that was an upgrade or a renewal, and I just added it to the total. Thank you so much, WGC. And while you guys are hitting buttons and clicking things, make sure you smash the like button. Get us to 200 likes really quickly. If you guys are tuning in for GTA 6 news, there's no news, but they have done a whole lot of stuff with GTA 5. And I have an upload coming later today where I argue that I believe there's going to be a 60 FPS mode in GTA 6. And we're at 599. WGC, was that an upgrade? We're 1 away. Who's going to take the crown? Who will be the 600th person to do it? It looks like we also had a rejoin for Mr. Ragelot. We are at 599. $5.99. Yours was a renewal WGC, but for whatever reason, you bumped the line. So you might have been considered like out of the pool, and your renewal was you jumping back in. $5.99. Who is going to take the crown? Who's going to do it? We really do. We really want to end this year and have 1,000 people at that tier level. We really, really do. We gift so much. There's usually around 2,000 people on this channel that have a gifted membership, like 2,000, right? We would really like to tip the scales and have it be a little bit more balanced. IRL stake stream tomorrow. I don't know if we could do it tomorrow. I don't know, Stone Spire. I'll have to see. And Jason West does a member plus. That might be it. Let's break the record. The next goal will be 700. Every time we hit a milestone, I will celebrate with you guys every time. So at 700, we did it. Finally, we did it. We got to 600. All right. So we've done it. We have actually done it. We've been working on that for like 6 months. So the next milestone will be 700 for member plus and above. And every time we hit one of those milestones, I celebrate with you guys. I do. Split Fiction is pushing 200,000. Really? Good for them. Yo, MTO with 25 months. Thank you so much. So that's going to be 3 because I believe that was an upgrade from Jason West. So thank you so much. Hang on, I'm hitting the wrong buttons. There we go. 543. MASH, says MTO. Just all caps MASH. Congrats. I really appreciate it. I'm waiting for my reverse ribeye steak in the mail. That's right. We stalled out in the mid 500s, man. It was tough. We just couldn't move the needle. So I appreciate those of you that believe in what we do here. You support what we do, and you push us to greater heights. Alapark with 31 months says, I'm mad. Work and lurk mode these days, but keep killing it. Thank you so much, Alapark, for 31 months. I want to know right now, do you guys think, yes or no, do you guys think there will be a 60 FPS mode in GTA 6? Do you think? And could you give me 40 more likes on the video? You guys are crushing the like count today. It's unbelievable. Congrats everybody hitting the goal. Yeah. That's a big achievement, man. We've been working on that. It's exciting. So you guys are saying yes. Onwards to 1,000. Thank you so much, Ration. A lot of people are saying yes in chat. We are now a 5 bomb away from 550. I'll owe you guys a 10 bomb. I will owe you a 10 bomb. Thank you so much for getting us that much closer to 550. 60 FPS on the PlayStation for sure. You guys are thinking at least on the Pro. 60 FPS on base, 30 on Series S. Yeah, I'm pretty sure AC Shadows, am I correct that AC Shadows will only be 30 FPS on Series S? It's just going to have a fidelity mode, no performance mode. So parity is basically, I mean, it's been done dead, but it's dead. And that's a pretty big title to not even offer one. I don't think it's the first either. I think there's been a handful of titles that have done that. They just offer fidelity mode only. Which, if it runs at stable 30, right, you know, the Series S owners are still, I think, going to get a pretty game as long as it can stay stable. I don't like 30, but the CPU will always be an issue, says WGC. Oh, Mass Produce, you say you won't buy it if it doesn't have if GTA 6 does not have a 60 FPS mode. Okay. I think it'll do 60 on both PS5s and Series X. Honestly, don't know about the S. I don't think it'll be 60 on the S. No way. AC Shadows isn't 60 on the S, so I don't think so. I mean, GTA is going to be a much bigger game than AC Shadows. And a 10 bomb comes in from Risick, and he gets us to 555. He's setting up a Frogger, but somebody disrupts it, and a 5 bomb comes in from King Troopa, and he gets us to 560. If you guys get a gifted member, man, say thank you to the people that gifted it and consider upgrading. We just hit the milestone of 600 people at Member Plus and above, and onwards and upwards to 700. We'll do a celebration every time we hit a new milestone. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets delayed on Xbox because of the S. Yeah, Strauss Zelnick didn't seem concerned about that. It'd be completely unacceptable for them to release a game at 30 FPS while possibly demanding more money for the base game. Oh, MK, that is just analysis from people. The latest analysis about the $100 comes from Michael Pachter. He doesn't have a great batting average, brother. from the former CEO Xbox, Peter Moore. He recently did an interview with Gamertag Radio, and he says, Zubitech quoting him here, I think that the console wars were healthy for the industry, and look, I've said it before, we just certainly, I did encourage the battle because I think gamers love to see Xbox versus PlayStation, maybe Nintendo as well. Yeah, that's actually old news. He talked about how they really fanned the console war flames. They really fan those flames, but here's the thing. It's gotten to a really unhealthy place, I think. I think people have taken way too much identity from it, and they've made it very personal and nasty. It's no longer just like two teams, like you cheer for, the Giants, and this guy cheers for the Cowboys. Like, it's not like that anymore. It's gotten really toxic. I can't see them delaying it on the S. Rockstar can afford to make sure it comes out together. I don't think they would delay it on the S. I don't think so. I think we're going to know in April whether or not the GTA 6 release date lands this year. I think we'll know. If it's still on target in April, they'll start marketing in May. I've been told by a reliable source there is a marketing deal with PlayStation, and we'll see evidence of that in May. That's probably the tentative plan, which confirmation will be given in April. Yep, we're still on pace, and at that point, it's time to market. If Strauss Zelnick sits down on a Take-Two earnings call in April and says that GTA 6 release date is still on pace for the fall, well, you got to start marketing, man. You're halfway through the year at that point, practically. You see the Hell Is Us developer vid? It looks really interesting. I've heard some things that I find to be a little worrying, like there's no checkpoints or something. Did I hear that correctly? I will be on Porter Rock's channel tonight at 6. We will try to set up a redirect. I'll probably try to just stream all the way until that moment with Hilly, and then we'll just redirect over. I think it would be insane not to release a game at 60 FPS this generation. I agree with you. As I said, as a reminder, guys, we've been doing uploads in the afternoons, and you guys have been supporting them, and we greatly appreciate it. We did a Monster Hunter video, a Split Fiction review, and then a Last of Us Part 3 video, and you guys have really, really shown up big for those videos, so thank you so much for doing that. It really means a lot. It is a huge deal for us to be able to do that kind of content. And we greatly, greatly appreciate it. The Split Fiction review actually also is getting some external hits, and that's very, very exciting. That means Google, views it as a reliable video, and that's because of you guys. And here's the deal. We have a video coming today about GTA 6 60 FPS, and it's a hopeful video. I analyze a lot. I analyze the industry. I analyze Rockstar's been doing some weird stuff, man. I don't know what they're doing, but they've been doing some weird stuff. And I do a breakdown of everything they've done and said, and I also look at a lot of what the industry has done and said, as well as the community. I think the gaming community is going to play a really big role here in GTA 6's performance. I think it's become a bigger priority in the gaming world, and I believe Rockstar's taken notice. No checkpoints, no quest markers, fully open exploration. So if there's no checkpoints, do they say what happens when you die? Where does it put you? Are there places where it puts you? So is it like, you wouldn't say there's checkpoints in Elden Ring, but there kind of are. You go in to fight a boss, and then if the little, the statue's there, then you go right back there. And a single gifted from Bumble Pants. Thank you so much, Bumble Pants. And he moves that member count to 561. Thank you guys so much. Trailer 1 ran at 1440, upscaled to 4K at 30 with heavy motion blur and motion smoothing. I don't know about 60. That's very common for trailers in YouTube, though, to run them at 30. That's actually really common, Angelo. I don't think that's an indication of anything. Maybe it's a rogue like Returnal. I think they would say if it was a rogue. You got beer and pizza, so you get a member. Hey, Bumble Pants, sharing the wealth. Thank you very, very much. Your journey through Cthulhu Cosmic Abyss. What's this? What in the world is this game? This looks creepy. It also looks very. It's coming in 2026. I didn't see anything. I don't even want to show that. It looks cinematically strong, but other than that, yo, what's good, guys? Feed is in the chat. We gotta get Feed. We got to get Feed a member. We got to get him in here. Sam Taylor with a 50, or I think that's a 5. What kind of a super? I don't know how much that is. Let me check the back end. It's $2.50. Thank you so much for the $2.50 super chat. PS5 and the Series X will be 45 FPS. The Series S will be 30. The PS5 Pro will be 40 to 60, unstable. All of them 720 to 1080, maybe 4K 30. Commerce wars are healthy, but game fans went crazy. Thank you so much for doing the first super chat of the day. And yeah, I think the console war, it did. I got pretty loud about that this morning in Morning Coffee. That's a great reason to be in Morning Coffee. I think people have just gone far beyond just fun banter, and it's become very toxic and unhealthy. Lord Horg with a gifted member, thank you so much, and that bumps the line to 562. Yeah, I think people just need to take a step back, and they just need to take a step back and realize it ain't that serious, There was never a reason to make it personal, and I think people need to walk it back and take a different path, I really, really do. I think one of my favorite things to do this year would be to jump on podcasts with some of the Bleed Green guys. I think it would be fun, but I just need people to chill the frick out, man. You really got to. You got to chill. You got to stop making it personal, So with Sam Taylor's prediction about GTA 6 performance, though, again, my video coming later today, I'm going to touch on a variety of things, and I really want to know y'all's thoughts. Make sure you watch that video. Make sure you leave comments. I want to see if I can compel you with my argumentation in that video. I put a lot of time and thought into it. I was late to dinner because of working on that video. So is Rockstar Australia about to handle their remakes, or is it just going to support GTA 6 or online? Yeah, Mr. Chosen, I don't talk about that in the video, so I'm not going to cannibalize anything here by talking about that. I think that purchase was for bandwidth alone. I think they're anticipating such a surge of interest and so many people playing and so many people coming in and wanting to enjoy the game, from online to ongoing content to DLC and the like. I really do think they're probably just buying them for the bandwidth. I think they're looking at projections and they're like, listen, man, GTA 6 is going to be crazy. We are going to need some support. We're going to need more people. Your 65 hours in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and tonight I will attend the wedding. You're finally getting to go to the wedding? Nice. Red Dead Redemption 2 has never been pro enhanced. I actually addressed that in the video. I was like, listen, I know people are going to bring this up. Right? I know people are going to bring this up, but I'm here to tell you I have an answer for you. So make sure, again, I'm going to start doing this whole whetting your appetite thing with the video thing. I think it's fun. It's a little cheeky, I know, but we can still have a great conversation today. I'm just going to keep dropping those hints. I do directly answer that question, though, about Red Dead Redemption 2 on the video, because I know people are going to bring that up. They're going to be like, well, if you think GTA 6 is going to be 60, then why is this game still not? I answer that question in the video. And Petrov submitted a member's question. And thank you so much for doing that, Petrov. We'll pull that question up in just a moment. You guys can ask questions anytime. You do not have to be a member to ask questions. I need to get a new bag. This one's getting a little haggard and wrinkled for the coffee there. Don't forget, guys, if you do want to support the channel, you don't have to do memberships or super chats. You don't have to spend any money. But if you are a coffee drinker, you could try out the Coffee Reforge Roast. It is not a sponsor. I get disappointed on Microsoft games. Avowed was boring. I hope they become like the 2000s again, all over the top Western games like Gears and Halo. Put love on flashy action Hollywood movies. A lot of people seem to be enjoying Avowed. Yeah, it wasn't for me either. I think a lot of people did kind of fall, in a similar camp to you. They didn't think they thought it was a little on the boring side, but I think that's just going to come down to subjectivity. I think there are plenty of people who played Avowed and had a great time. I've seen people just geeking out, hitting hundreds of hours in that game. So more power to you, man. But again, if you didn't like it, you didn't like it. I didn't sleep well last night. You were sick. I'm sorry you were sick, Ice Queen Gaming. Hopefully you're going to feel better today. Just, curl up and relax somewhere. I'm reading back here some of the chat. Excited about tonight. I was in P-Rock's comments. Tell him he had to have you on. Yeah, I've always liked him. I've liked his content. I obviously am friends with Doc. I'm friends with his brothers, so I'm excited to get to know Porter Rock a little bit more tonight. And I'm just gonna say it. I'm not out here trying to beg for invites, but I am open. I think I'm more open to doing shows than I ever have. Like there was a time there was like, I don't want to do shows with people that are going to be that way. But like I think it's probably time to maybe reach out and say, hey, I'm willing to do shows with some of y'all. In the past it kind of felt like we couldn't really do a show without it getting nasty. So I'll do shows with some of the Bleed Green guys. Again, you just gotta chill out. You gotta stop calling me names and being unkind and making it toxic. You know what I'm saying? Did you see that video with Peter Moore? I did not see it, but I've seen some of the clips, or I've seen some of the quotations. I'm sorry, I've seen some of the quotations. Stonespire says you're 90 hours in Avowed, and I'm not done yet. You two are the only ones who actually use facts and give your opinions. Others just grift. I don't know what everybody else does with their content because I don't watch everybody else's content. I'm kind of not this is kind of my new approach. I'm not out here keeping a score sheet on other content creators. But if you want to have me on your show and have a conversation, I'll come and do it. Like, I'm not going to like pull out a score sheet and be like, but you said this and you said this and receipt pull time. No, I don't care about that. If somebody wants to wear their content, if somebody wants to make their content that way, that's their choice. If they want to do that, they can take that risk. He needs to get a mic and a better camera that doesn't constantly shake. Oh, these guys do it for fun, though. He's not doing it as a profession. He does it for fun. I genuinely think you and P-Rock will get on. I think you agree on most things. Oh, I don't think there's going to be a lot of disagreement. No, I don't think so. He constantly hits the limit on his mic, too. I could teach him how to use a compressor in OBS. It's not hard. He could literally just right-click his mic, add a filter, add the compressor, and it would really help with that. You would still hear it, but it wouldn't distort as much. And then he'd be free and clear to just yell as much as he wants. My buddy beat Avowed, and he enjoyed it. I played it for 2 hours and deleted it, just not for me. Yeah, I'm that way, JTag. I'm always excited when people are enjoying a game that I'm not enjoying. Like, I can celebrate that. It's like, oh, man, more power to you, dude. Have a frickin' ball. Have a ball. It'll likely be that way. It'll likely be that way with GTA 6 for me, unless GTA 6 grabs me. Again, that guy's not a legitimate source of information. He says a new PSSR update is coming. Bring it even closer to what we have in FSR 4, co-developed with AMD and the Amethyst project. That's speculation. We do know, according to AMD, though, however, I think that he's just making a very easy guess, Hadigan. I think he's guessing. I don't think he has sources. Okay? AMD said that their latest version of FSR 4, they made it in collaboration with Sony. And I told y'all, I said, after this PSSR thing and what Mark Cerny said, I said, just you watch. I bet you whatever AMD's got coming on their cards is related to them working with Sony. I think they're helping each other. And if it works both ways, and PSSR, as this person is predicting, if PSSR gets closer to what we're seeing in FSR 4, brother, that could be very, very helpful. You know what I mean? You've been telling P-Rock how to fix his audio for years. He doesn't care. I'm telling you, some of those guys just don't care. You know what I'm saying? They walk in a room, turn the camera on, hit the record button, and they just go. And to them, it's just something fun to do, to pass the time. It's not, they're not taking it that serious, and that's okay. That's okay. I love the people who do this for fun. They have no skin in the game and are genuine. Besides Lono, there are very few content creators who make content for a living that are trustworthy. I think there are a lot of people that are trustworthy out there. You just kind of have to dig a little. You got to get outside of the console warriors. You got to get outside of the people that turn everything into a fight, because that drives the clicks. You got to find them. They're out there. AMD was late to using machine learning and upscaling, so Sony had to create their own. AMD has finally gotten with the program. I don't know if Sony will need their own solution in the future. Maybe that's what Project Amethyst is, Zubair, which would be kind of weird. I mean, that would obviously push against some of my own predictions about PSSR creating cartilage between the PS5 Pro and the PS6. if they end up creating something. But it could be more of a hybrid. It could be some amalgamation where like, well, here's PSSR that is essentially borrowing and utilizing a lot of the FSR stuff. I don't know. Reading the Sony interview, Sony wants their own solution. He did talk about how they branded that's their stuff. And they're going to continue to do that. They're going to continue to trot out their own tech solutions. It'll be branded to them. If you guys are just tuning in, thank you so much for 200 likes. We're having a great, great day. I do have a video coming later today. I'm sure you're here looking for like GTA 6. I do some analysis of Rockstar's recent behavior in GTA 5, as well as the community's response. I go all the way back to a particular game in 2022 that I believe was kind of the beginning of the narrative shift on 60 FPS. So I've been kind of asking the chat if they think GTA 6 will be 60 FPS at launch. And more people are saying yes. I think originally people were thinking no. Like they weren't too keen on it. And I think more and more people are being keen on it. Like they think, no, yeah, it's more likely, which is essentially what my video later today will argue. So be sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, that's totally free. Hit subscribe, hit the bell. Make sure your bell is set to all. Also, a lot of you guys, your bell got switched to personalized and you're not getting notified about my content anymore. So make sure and switch that. Yo, good morning, Dylan. How are you? Hard to tell until we see gameplay. I'm making a prediction based off of analysis and behavior. Like the shirt, thank you. I like to wear this shirt when, I like to wear this shirt when vengeance is coursing through my veins. It feels good. It feels good. Amethyst was announced as a whole of industry upgrade initially, as I recall. And Dylan gifts a member. Dylan, so faithful lately, bumping that member count line with gifted members, and thank you so much. And that gets us to 563. This stretch goal is for a Saturday night stream. Madam and I are going to stream tonight like we typically always do on Friday. I made the stretch goal a little bit higher because Saturday night, Madam's going to be grumpy with me if we have to stream on Saturday night, but I'm like, babe, they went a little crazy. So that's why that goal is a little bit higher than normal. And no, this is not an Into the AM shirt. That's an old command. Respectfully, besides you, I find that there are very few, not none, but very few, like looking for a needle in a haystack, very few, but they do exist. Well, Corey, I appreciate that you think that highly of my content, especially how many disagreements we've had over the years. Some people, I think, internalize disagreement differently. I think some people internalize the disagreement and it upsets them. Others are like, well, I know I'm not going to get bull crap from this guy because he's willing to disagree with me, heatedly. So, thank you. Having their own also allows them to customize to their exact hardware. That's right. What's the occasion today? Did I miss something? I'm not sure what you're asking about, Kevin. The occasion for what? It's like the phone charger battle. How long did it take companies to settle on USB-C? Oh, with respect to like FSR versus PSSR. Paul says FSR and PSSR are really the same tech, but running different models. FSR 4 has big overhead at the moment. Oh, the occasion for the Punisher shirt? I just like when people provide damning evidence. That's all. It's one of my favorite things. It's kind of my kink. I love damning evidence. It's my favorite. Evidence is one of my favorite things ever. Zubair, after having their own, I already read that. Sorry. Companies didn't settle on USB-C. The UA mandated. Right? They didn't settle. They were told. They were like, hey, knock that off. Everybody use the same charger, dadgummit. No, more than that, Brooklyn. More than that. There is disagreement, and then there is peeing on my leg to say that it's raining. I never feel like you pee on anyone's leg. Reforge, I've just connected your Discord to my YouTube channel. There is so much content. I strongly suggest Member Plus. It's great. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate that. I really, really do. It's not good for tech when being forced into using it. I think that's true most of the time, Paul. I don't know if that applies to the charging port. I don't know if that applies to the charging port. You guys know me. I don't like companies being forced to do anything. I'm very much, anti-overregulation. I'm not about it. I would like to see regulation with respect to, making refunds possible for digital goods sold. I think that's a next step for consumer protection that needs to happen, but I'm definitely not like, yeah, force them. Grumpy Wife, Jumpy Life. Thank you so much for a VIP renewal. John Always hitting 42 months, and that adds to the total of 564. Thank you so much. What's up with the Starfield update? Okay, so the Starfield update, they basically answered somebody on Twitter, and they said they have a very big update, or not very big. I think they said have a big or exciting update for this year, but they're not ready to talk about it yet. Here's what I observed about Starfield that I just think is interesting. I think this is interesting. They have been ridiculously quiet. And I mean, not like not tweeting and updating. I mean, like every other Xbox game or outlet, there's a lot of leaking going on. We're hearing about like Gears Collection, Gears of War E-Day. We're hearing about Fable. We're hearing all these things like, well, it was slated for this, and this was delayed for that, and that might get moved back, and this might not have PvP, but this will have co-op, and blah, blah, blah. There's an awful lot of leaks going on, and we haven't heard a thing. Not a whisper, not a pin drop about Starfield. Now, I find that to be very interesting. It could mean that they are working on some big, huge secret update. There was that person that said they had heard about like a code-altering update that was coming to the game. And I've always said that if they want to bring that game to PlayStation, they're going to have a 2.0 moment. It can't come in its current state. It can't. And then I theorized that maybe that was why the Shattered Space DLC was so bad. Maybe they just didn't give enough bandwidth. Maybe they moved a lot of people and a lot of resources to do this update, this 2.0 thing, and Shattered Space ended up being sort of like the sacrificial lamb. Like they just didn't do, like that Shattered Space DLC was bad, right? Bad commercial reception, bad critical reception. It was a failure, okay? So, in light of that, that could be why. Like, think about it. If you're trying to come up with an answer as to, well, why was the DLC so bad? What in the world happened? Why are they being so quiet? Why aren't they saying anything? And then why would they say they have an exciting update? It seemed like they were indicating like something kind of big. Well, that kind of adds credence to that one guy's claim that like there's like a code-altering update coming, and nobody corroborated his claim. I just find it really, really weird that all these Xbox insiders are like super chatty all of a sudden. They're like, oh, I heard that about Gears. I heard this about Fable. Blah, 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 blah. And they're not a word, not a peep about Starfield. So, I don't know. Seems very interesting that, like, we're hearing about everything. Like, you know what I mean? We're hearing about everything. We routinely do that. We have vast product safety laws and regulations. You aren't allowed to sell children a bag of glass, even if it would be huge in Kentucky. That would be really popular here. That'd be really popular here. So let me pull up a question that was submitted here. Thank you so much, Petrov, for submitting this. And this is in the headline today. This is one of our lead stories. What do you think of Assassin's Creed Shadows? Well, in case you guys missed it, there was 20 minutes of Assassin's Creed Shadows that got dropped into the public, and I thought it looked very good. I thought it looked very, very good, and the footage looks. The theme that I keep feeling around AC Shadows is it just keeps looking better, more polished, and more refined. Now, I contrasted that in the show open. I compared and kind of contrasted that to Star Wars Outlaws. Star Wars Outlaws looked fantastic in that first trailer, and then it looked worse and worse and worse. And then it came out, and it was like, good golly, what did you guys do? AC Shadows is the opposite. It's looked, every time they've come out with something, I'm like, that looks more polished, that looks better, that looks more fun, performance looks fantastic. I'm not seeing janky footage like we did with Star Wars Outlaws. Yo, we saw some janky footage of Star Wars Outlaws. They put out trailers that they thought looked good, and they looked bad. It's like, what are y'all doing? So, yeah. That's why that's in the headlines. And why and GTA 6 at 60 FPS is in the headlines because I happen to think Rockstar has been doing some very interesting things as of late. And later today, I'm going to take you guys over to a video about this very subject. And I went back and looked at, you know, the gaming community. I look at Richard Ledbetter's prediction from Digital Foundry about how it won't be at 60 FPS. And I talk about why he could be right, but I find his prediction to be it's missing something, and I try to add a little bit to it. I'm like, I think there's an element here we have to consider, that he's not incorrect, but I think that his prediction is wanting. It's leaving something out, and I try to add more, which he knows way more than me, right? His analysis is always spot on. From a prediction standpoint, though, I think we have to look at a larger picture. And when I look at the larger picture in this video, I argue that I believe we will get 60 FPS. So you have to check that video out later and see what my argumentation is. I Platinum Outlaws. It looks amazing on PS5 Pro 40 FPS. Man, I tried that performance mode, Daniel, and I went to town and it ran terribly. And then I rode around and it looked terrible, so I couldn't do it. I have a drawer full of legacy cables just in case. Everybody's got that drawer full of cables, you know what I mean? Everybody. I had one when I was at my old apartment, and when we moved here, it was a duplex, I'm sorry. When we moved here, it was hard to let some of it go. It was hard to let some of it go. You're like, but what if I need it? What if I need it? You know, you never know when you might need that old Motorola phone charger, chat, that looked like a pitchfork. You know the one I'm talking about. You know the one I'm talking about, chat. You probably still have one. You know? I had a really cool orange one, too. I had a cool orange Sony Ericsson phone that was dope. Guys, take a quick second. We're 45 minutes into the broadcast. Make sure you're smashing like. That really helps out the video. Let's set our sights on 300 likes. That would be amazing this early in the video. You know, it really, really would. We're working on a huge goal. We hit a huge goal, by the way. We've been trying to get to 600 people paying for their own membership, and we did it. We did it today. I finally connected my YouTube to Discord. Thought it was this whole time. Oh, good golly. Yeah, you couldn't see anything in the Discord until you connect. Yeah, you can't see anything until you connect. It's like all the rooms are hidden from you. We don't want the Discord open to the public because of some crap that we've been through in the past. It led to an unfortunate clip of me saying they don't matter, and people have, you know, done their best to misrepresent and use that to bury me. And it's unfortunate because we were talking about the Discord. You know, don't want the public in the Discord because it just led to a lot of bad things in the past. The USB-C standard isn't worldwide either. Oh, you guys are still talking about that. Good Lord. I'm calling it the PlayStation 6 will not be 700 to 1,000. What are you talking about? 700 to... It will not be 700 to 1,000? So what price do you think it would be then? That shirt's awesome. Thank you. The PlayStation... I don't know. I don't know what the PlayStation 6 is going to be. I think it'd be weird to be cheaper than the Pro. That's for sure. So if the Pro doesn't experience a price drop, it'd be really weird for the PS6 to come to market and be cheaper than the PS5 Pro, you know, at 700. I think it'll be... Yeah, I think it'll be like 800. It'll be like 800. 5 to 600? You're going to have to see some steep price drops on base PS5 and Pro if you think the PlayStation 6 is going to be 5 to 600. They're not. Wow, can you imagine bringing that to market and having it be cheaper than the Pro? I could see them dropping the Pro to 650 or 600 and have the PS6 be 700. It's not going to come out and be cheaper than the Pro. That wouldn't make any sense. Guessing prices now is pointless. Yeah, there's so many things that can happen between now and then. You know, tariffs that stick or don't stick. You know, production costs. You know, conflicts that could be resolved or continue. There's just a lot of things. But again, I'm speaking purely from the standpoint of if the PlayStation 6 gets announced and the PS5 Pro is still in the market at $700, that PS6 is going to be $800. They are not going to have it be cheaper than the Pro. That would be the craziest thing in the world, to go to the store and to see the PS5 Pro more expensive than the 6. That would be wild. That would be wild. If it's not cheaper than the Pro, it won't have mass appeal, no matter how big fans we all might be. I get what you're saying. I do. I think that's actually fair pushback, Snake Eyes, that there is a limit on how much you can charge for something like that. Like, there's been a lot of debate about the GTA 6 price. Like, now Michael Pachter's got everybody thinking that, like, GTA 6 is going to be $100, right? And I've always said that that'll be an enormous mistake. You can sell GTA 6 for $100, make it a premium edition, and give them a car and a cool jacket, and then they'll spend it, right? You don't need to have the base price be $100. I think it's ludicrous that people are predicting that's going to be a thing, because again, I think there is a threshold that you go beyond, and it hurts your broad appeal. And so I think your pushback is totally fair, but I'm going to continue to say you're going to have to drop the price of the Pro if you're going to do that. If not, it would be weird. It would be very, very bizarre. GTA would be the only game that could do it. I don't disagree with you, but here's why I don't think they're going to do it. GTA 6 retail sales is a door into online. I think they want as many people buying it as possible. So having everybody buy it at $70 is far more productive, because they can sell digital editions for $90 and a special edition, a platinum edition for $110 or whatever the heck, and make a ton of extra money on those people, and then everybody else is just buying it at the $70. I really do think that, like, the GTA 6 price is not going to depart or divert from what the standard is. I really don't think so. PS6 will launch with 2 consoles and a handheld, something for everyone. More expensive, most powerful, less expensive, less powerful, and a handheld. That's probably one of the worst predictions I think I've ever seen about PlayStation hardware. That doesn't sound like something Sony would ever do. You think they're going to mimic what Xbox did this gen that hurt them? They're going to launch a weaker... There's no way they would do that. Xbox is standing out on Main Street looking haggard because they tried to do that. They got busted up. I mean, they got busted up. Ain't nobody going to mimic that strategy. It did not work. Buddy, did it not work. You got developers saying that it's a problem. You got developers coming to the platform late because of it. You got developers saying they're thinking of skipping Xbox. I don't think so at all. And if you listen to what they've said in the interview about the PS5 Pro being spun up in like 3 to 5 years. Watch, not that weaker of a console, my guy. You've made a really compelling statement that doesn't communicate anything, my guy. Like, what do you mean? What? Not that weaker of a console? So they do an interview about the PS5 Pro, and the guy says, we can spin up technology like this in like 3 to 5 years. And you think they did all that work on the Pro, and then they're going to come out with the 6 and launch 2? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't line up with what they've been doing and what their strategy is. What are you basing your prediction off of? I guess that's my question. Have you seen a pattern, an interview, a report? I don't know, any kind of industry analysis that would make you think that they would do that? I'm curious what led you to this conclusion. It seems like you pulled it out of a hat, just like, yeah, they're going to do what Xbox did. Like, what? Look how long it takes Xbox games to develop now. You just keep saying watch. No, I'm not going to watch. I'm interested in your position. I'm interested in how you arrived at this conclusion. What makes you think that? Did you reason your way to this prediction? Did you see something? Did you read an interview? Was there an earnings call comment? Is there a sales report somewhere? Is there a data trend or something? Like, I'm genuinely curious. Why do you think they're going to do that? I've said this before, but in the past, chips got smaller and cheaper over time. Now they are getting smaller and more expensive. The economics have flipped. Wafers are getting really expensive. Yeah, so in light of that, that would make doing a 2 SKU launch even more expensive. I don't think that would be a thing. The next consoles will be UNDA Zen 5, RDNA 5 custom parts. By 2028, I could see them hitting around $600 for the console still. Wasn't the new Portal PlayStation in the works? There is another handheld coming. We think that's pretty much a guarantee at this point. But I'm talking about a 2-tier console is what he's predicted. And I'm like, I'm not upset that you made the prediction. I'm confused. I'm like, why do you think they would do that? $5 from Trappy. All digital PlayStation 6 optional disc drives sold separate, and a handheld will play PS5 and PS6 games at lower res. Yeah, I think the handheld, I think they had a breakthrough with PSSR. Lono, would you consider a handheld and a traditional console a 2 SKU launch? I don't, but curious your thoughts. No, I would not consider that a 2 SKU launch, because I think they're different products that offer different features. So like the Series S and the X were like little brother, big brother. Like they didn't offer different features and functionality. One was just weaker than the other and therefore cheaper. A handheld offers a complete different feature set and value offer. It's not the same. That would be like saying when you go to, and I know you're not saying this, but that would be like saying when you go to Best Buy that the Asus ROG Ally is just like a PC. Like, no, it's not. They're sitting next to each other, maybe, depending on how the store's set up, but they're not like even remotely the same as I would even say a gaming laptop is a different purchase than a PC, because one is offering a feature set that the other is not. It's not just a difference in power. It's a literal different feature set. The laptop can go with you. It's portable. You throw it in a bag, you know. There's like a spectrum there, right? There's like the high-end PC, there's the gaming laptop, and then there's the gaming handheld. So yeah, if PlayStation came to the market with a PlayStation 6 and a handheld, I would see that as not a 2 SKU release. I would see that as it's almost like they're running parallel to each other. Ask P-Rock if he thinks the Switch is a console. Oh, does he not think it's a console? It's weird too, like some of the advertisements we've seen for like Asus ROG Ally and some of the others, they call them handheld consoles, which is interesting. Most people probably consider them handheld PCs, but I guess it's not a PC because you're not doing like personal computing on it. It's a handheld gaming device. Maybe Wolverine will become a PS6 launch. I don't think so. And Pathalon Phoenix, good to see you, sir. Gets us to 571. Am I paid up? Did I do my 10 bomb? I can't remember if I did or not. I feel like I did. I think I'm paid up. I get confused when you guys do so much at once. I don't think I did. Let me do the 10 that I owe you guys. I think I need to do a 10. I think that's where we are. I don't know. Once we go beyond the weekly goal, it just gets confusing because we just keep stretching. I would think the PS6 handheld would be like the Portal. I'm skeptical that they would fit PS6 tech into a handheld. I don't think it'll be PS6 tech. I think it's going to be a gaming system that, again, I believe they've made a breakthrough with PSSR and whatever Project Amethyst is, and I believe you'll buy a device that can actually play, like God of War Ragnarok native. I think they'll just use significant amount of upscaling, because we know the Portal was internally called the Q Lite. Well, that means there's a Q somewhere. Q Lite means, okay, this is the light version. So, you can't even fit PS5 tech into a handheld? No, I don't think that's what they would do. I think it's something else. I think, yeah, it's the Q Heavy. That's right. It's the Q Light and the Q Fatty. That's what we'll call them. It'll be a portable PS5. Yeah, I think they figured it out. Somewhere along the line, somebody was like, wait, you could drop internal res, below 1080, up at the 1080, give them 1080 60, and these games run just fine. Like, I don't know. We'll wait. We'll wait and see, but there just seems to be an awful lot of smoke around that. Like, you have AMD saying that FSR4 was developed with, you know, with the help of Sony. Fatty, I take offense. I don't know how big you are, Talica. I've never seen you, so you know what I'm saying? Listen, if you're thick, you're thick. We just wear that with pride. I'm not calling you fat. True SSJ Havoc with 28 months in the VIP. The thing that makes the Switch genius in retrospect is that they noticed their handheld market completely overshadowed their console market, so they decided to merge them together. Thanks, Lowen. Well, thank you for the VIP. And that gets us to 572. What a week. The current stretch goal is for a Saturday night stream. We do not typically stream on Saturday night. That's why it's so high. Like, if Madam's going to be grumpy with me for doing a Saturday night stream, I've got to make it a pretty big goal. What are my predictions for AC Shadows reviews? Mid to low 80s on Metacritic. Mid to low 80s. It'll probably land at like an 84. Maybe 85? 84, 85, somewhere in there. You know what I mean? Some people only like thick. I don't have a problem with thick. I ain't going to complain. What's there to complain about? The Switch is 100% a console, though. It just also happens to be portable. How does it differ from other consoles besides form factor? Power. I mean, but again, power doesn't determine if it's a console or not. You know what I mean? Guys, by the way, make sure you're taking a quick second to hit the like button. We need 40. We need 40 likes to hit 300. Thank you so much to everybody who has already hit the like button. Make sure YouTube's not being squirrely. Sometimes it doesn't save your likes, and we appreciate that very, very much, those of you that do that every single day. Make sure you've hit subscribe as well. Subscribing to the channel is free. It costs nothing, and then you won't miss out on my shows. You should also double check and make sure that your notification bell is set to all and not personalized. I think Nintendo considers the Switch a console, don't they? I believe that they do. I mean, it's kind of like that ongoing thing I saw on Twitter, like the debate about what's an RPG. I always feel like in discussions like that, there are people that are, I don't even know how to describe it. I think they're nuts. I think like to them, it's like this super serious, important thing. And they're categorizing things as like, well, that's not an RPG. Like I saw somebody saying that apparently Lies of P, somebody was very angry that somebody claimed that Lies of P wasn't an RPG. And I was like, wait, what? Like, I don't understand. It's like you get to the point where that definition gets so rigid that some of the more traditional RPGs are now not RPGs, I guess. Like if you go back to certain like classic ones, it's like, well, I guess this one isn't. I don't understand. It's just bizarre. It's kind of like, oh, is it a console or is it not a console? I have a different question. Why does it matter? Like that's my question. Like, what difference does it make? Lies of P's an action RPG. Like when somebody says that that's an action RPG, I'm not suddenly bewildered and confused. Like I understand what they mean. It's a game that primarily focuses on combat, action. It's an action game, right? Combat's the focal point. But when you say RPG, I anticipate having a skill tree, skill points, and different builds, and like depth of build. That's what I expect. I don't expect like, oh, you said RPG, so I expect a robust dialogue system, questing system, and I influence the outcome of the game. Like, is anybody actually confused when they hear that? Like, oh, it's an action RPG, and they're like, oh, I can't wait to invest in the robust dialogue and role-playing systems. Like, no one's confused. I mean, maybe the people that get upset about this are confused. They're confused in thinking that it matters. But, yeah, I don't know. You're always confused? Why are PC dudes worried about the console war? I don't know. They're bored, maybe? That's their favorite game to play? They're like, well, I could put another couple 100 hours into Waifu Simulator, or I could console war. They're going for the platinum in console warring. They're going for the platinum, boys. Horizon is an RPG. Yeah, I mean, I don't care. It's like, yeah, to me, it's kind of like an action RPG. It's very RPG light. It's more of an action game. Like, yeah, you got skill trees. You have loot. You can level the loot, craft the loot, upgrade the loot. You have very different builds according to the various skill trees. I mean, there's a lot of different pathways you can take in that game. But I wouldn't care. It's like, well, it's more of an action game with RPG elements. I just think it's easier to say action RPG. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's an action game. It's got some RPG elements in it. Well, isn't it easier just to say action RPG and you know that's what I mean? Is anybody like, so it's like Baldur's Gate 3? Like, no? Like, are you really confused? Is this hard? Like, you know what I mean? True SSJ Havoc with a $5 super chat tip. They referred to the Switch as a hybrid to expand on my last point. It's their 9th gen offering while being the successor to their other handhelds. Very well described. What, Nick? Saying it's an action game with RPG elements? Like, I feel like we're saying the same thing, right? Like, if I say, oh, it's an action game with some RPG elements, and you're like, well, what kind? Oh, I mean, well, skill tree, loot that can be crafted and or upgraded. Like, there's tiers of level, and also the loot and your armor have stats. Like, those are all like RPG elements, things that you would find in like an RPG game, and you know, they put that in Horizon. Why can't I just say action RPG? Can't you say CRPG? You know, CRPG, JRPG, you know, ARPG. Like, what the heck are we talking about here? People only nitpick like this because they don't like the game being described. That's obviously possible. That's possible. Oh, man, Derek is in chat. Feed is in chat. Guys, oh, we got to make a run here. We got to get them in, especially if we're going to have some split fiction tonight and maybe tomorrow night if you guys scramble. Come on. It's a moving target and the language is lagging behind a little. A $10 super chat tip from Street Shadow said, what if Sony looked and said, instead of spending the money to make the PS5 cheaper with smaller parts, we take those parts and we fit them into a handheld and open up the entry points to a new audience? I mean, I'm picking up what you're putting down, Street Shadow. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I can see that. And a member light renewal from Raven, 38 months. Thank you, Raven. That's not an action RPG. I love action RPGs. Well, yeah, the origin of ARPG, isn't it like the top-down ones like Diablo, where they started focusing on the moment-to-moment combat as opposed to doing turn-based? Isn't that kind of like the history of where the term came from? And maybe that's why they get real persnickety and they're like, well, bleh. It's like, oh my gosh. Like, so I'm thinking like, oh, there's classes. Maybe that's what they would say is the difference. Is that the difference? So when you play through like Diablo 2 or 3, you have gear, you have loot, everything has a level, you've got skill tree and abilities. All those things are present in Horizon, but the difference is you have classes. Is that the difference? Like you pick a wizard or you pick like a monk, and they would say that's the difference. What's your most anticipated game after AC Shadows? AC Shadows is not my most anticipated game. My most anticipated game is Ghost of Yotei. AC Shadows is probably like 4th on the list. My most anticipated game is like Yotei, followed by Doom, followed by like maybe Death Stranding 2, and then AC Shadows, yeah. AC Shadows is like 3rd or 4th on the list. I mean, GTA 6, you know, is honestly one of my most anticipated games, and not because I think I'm going to like become like a full-time GTA 6 like no-lifer, but like I'm just really interested in GTA 6, the reception, the reviews. I've got a video coming today. If you make sure and check it out later when I send you guys to it. You know, it's me. I think GTA 6 is going to be 60 FPS. I think there's going to be a mode. And I argue that in the video. I look at a lot of the developments recently about it. Are you familiar with the Styx franchise? I am. I saw that trailer. I would like to see some gameplay. It looked like it could be a fun little game. Yeah. Street Shadow says, I go to Japan about twice a year for work. I get on the train in Tokyo, and to this day, I still see people playing the PS Vita on the train. That's not surprising. I classify Horizon as an action-adventure with extremely light RPG mechanics. Here's my question. Does it really matter if all you're attempting to do is describe the game accurately to somebody so, like, they know what they're going to get? Like, if I say, you know, it's an action RPG in my mind, and they're like, oh, but it's really not, and here's why. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Aren't we just trying to properly convey what's in the game? So I'm just trying to find a shortcut instead of saying it's an action game. It's kind of an action-adventure game. It's got some RPG elements in it. You know, it doesn't have classes or, like, branching paths of choice, but it's got a lot of those elements that you would find in other RPGs. Like, all I'm actually trying to do, my intention is not to have a war or a fight with somebody. It's just, I'm just trying to let somebody know what's in the dadgum game. Like, that's all I'm trying to do. The DC YouTube channel got hacked. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Petrov wants to know what's the best RPG I've ever played. I don't know. I mean, probably I really liked Skyrim and I really liked Fallout 4, and now I kind of don't have time for those, like, lengthy RPGs. You know? According to our information, several physical editions of the game Death Stranding 2 are being prepared. We confirm that the game will be released in physical format for the standard version of the game. A collector's edition is also planned for the game. We confirm that it will be released in North America and Europe. The release of this edition in other parts of the world remains to be confirmed. Mass Effect. I don't think I ever rolled credits. No, I did roll credits on Mass Effect 3. I think I liked that game. I played it a long time ago. I think my biggest frustration with it is I never really thought the combat was that great. I liked all of the characters and choices and narrative, and, you know, I liked the one scene where he's like, you know, had to be me. Like, there's some good moments, but, like, I don't know. I have more stronger memories of, like, Skyrim and Fallout 4, and even, like, the Far Harbor DLC. I remember really enjoying that. So, call it 60 turns per second RPG. What? Categories are just used by stores to facilitate sales. No need to get buttered over it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I just don't care. I remember we had this debate a while back, and people got really angry, and, you know, to attack somebody because they have an opinion about RPG. I just, okay. Like, you know, all right. I'm just changing the chip, not changing the motherboard. What are you guys talking about? Skyrim is a vibe. Yeah, every once in a while I have, like, a Facebook memory of when I posted a picture of me standing in front of a dragon that I had killed. So if you guys missed yesterday's upload as well, I have a poll on the channel. Do you think The Last of Us Part 3 eventually happens? It's basically split down the middle. It is split down the middle. It's like 53-47, you know. I agree the combat in Mass Effect was overrated. Early April trailer 2, Synth Potato is predicting. So does Synth Potato have a track record of inside information, or are they just making a prediction? Synth Potato is claiming that we'll get a trailer in early April for Grand Theft Auto 6. So those of you that have been waiting for a Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer 2, Synth Potato's claiming early April. I only think this happens if the game is still on pace. If they do their earnings call and the game is still on pace to come out, like if the GTA 6 release date is still on pace for fall, I could see this happening, and then I think May is when the marketing kicks up. And again, this is according to what I've been told. I've got a pretty reliable source that hasn't missed, and they're saying that you will be getting some type of a marketing push along with PlayStation in May. So Early April. So when's the PlayStation Showcase? The PlayStation Showcase is typically going to be at the very end of May or early June. PlayStation likes to go before everybody else. So they like to do their state of play and or showcase. And or showcase right at the end of May or early June. That's what they like to do. That is the pattern. So that kind of lines up with what I was told, that we'll see evidence of a GTA 6, marketing agreement with it's coming from a leaker? Okay, hang on. It's coming from a leaker. Let's take a look at this then. And where's my F11 key? There we go. And let me swap cap cards here. So we created a timeline that overlays the GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 marketing campaigns with all their key media beats to see what it might mean for GTA 6. Broadly, Rockstar's last 2 big AAA games have run compressed 5 to 6 month campaigns in the lead up to the launch. I told you guys that the campaign for the marketing would be about a 6 month run based on patterns. So that's something I already provided to you guys. Given that we've been told to expect a fall 2025 release, which we're tipping for late October, early November, you can dive into the show for more background, then that place to start for the compressed campaign would be late March, early April. We receive a lot of emails from people claiming to be insiders, and this historical marketing pattern chimes with one of the more credible tip-offs, which was more definitive in tipping April for the trailer 2. To paraphrase Nobel laureate Eugene Fama, whatever, the past does not predict the future. Okay, but we are talking about a more controlled, tried and tested promotion strategy, potentially executed by a core group of the same Rockstar employees. So we're expecting GTA 6 trailer 2 by April. Conviction, 39 out of 50 spaceship parts. There you go. So again, I don't think that's a terrible prediction, and if they're getting inside intel that's indicating that that's likely to then happen, the April earnings call could certainly be playing a role there. And then if they do trailer 2, I would see trailer 2 needing to contain 2 things, right? I think they would need to contain 2 things. We would want to see gameplay, and then we would want to see a release date. That's what we would want to see. So, yeah. Do it on April 1st. I mean, it would be pretty hilarious to do it on April 1st, but do you think GTA 6 multiplayer will come on launch No, I don't think GTA 6 online will be available at launch. I believe even a lot of the inside information that we've heard about the game has indicated that it will come later. It will. So, guys, could we get 16 more likes, man? If you haven't hit the like button yet, make sure and do that. Make that your morning ritual. Make that your daily ritual when you come into the stream. It really, really does help out. And we appreciate you so much for doing that. So, South of Midnight is trending on Keymailer. Killing Floor 3 has some information regarding something. What's this say? We made the decision to postpone Killing Floor's launch date to an undecided date later in 2025. So Killing Floor 3 has seen a delay, but they're saying that it'll still land. This year, just later in the year. I think the further we get in this year, the more precarious it becomes. Like, I really, really do. I think the further you get into 2025, because it's such a full year, nobody's going to force it. Right? That was like 2 weeks to release. Wonder what happened. I wonder what happened with Fragpunk. Fragpunk is another game that was included in a Xbox showcase and roadmap, and it's been delayed on console. And a 20 bomb from MASH says it's been a little too quiet on the member front. He's like, come on, boys, let's bump that member line. If you guys got a gifted membership from MASH, be sure to say thank you. And we greatly appreciate him. We greatly appreciate him and his generosity here. and everything he does for this channel. And we have been continuing to call on people to pick up their own memberships. We usually have around 2,000 people in the member pool who have been gifted a member, and we're so glad for that. We are so glad for that, that generosity. But we just hit a milestone today of 600 people paying for their own membership, and we will celebrate with an IRL stream on the weekend. I do extra content for you guys whenever we hit those milestones. And the next milestone, 700, so you can help us. Let's just steamroll past and keep going. Let's just keep it going. Anthony says, who's going to grab the super chat confetto? I don't know. The new Battlefield game is having playtests right now as part of the first Battlefield Lab experiences. The entire thing's under NDA, but a lot of the gameplay videos are leaking. Videos are being taken down immediately by EA. Yo, what's good, guys? Feed is in the chat, and there it is. Raven's going to take confetto and make it rain, and that means I owe you guys a member. Thank you so much for doing that, Raven. Every 5 super chats, I pay it forward, and I gift a member to somebody. So thank you so much for doing that, Raven. According to the devs, it was optimization issues for Fragpunk. I don't want to say it, but it was probably the S. Feels like the S. Yo, what's good, Cat? Good to see you in the chat. This gifted member is for Feed, YouTube. Come on. Come on. This is for Feed. For Feed. Come on. It went to Nick. Congrats, Nick. Good to see it go to somebody that is friendly to me in the show. Appreciate you, Nick. Yeah, the Fragpunk delay, due to optimization issues, that's obviously, a concern, and especially considering it was part of like the Xbox, marketing thing. It is hard not to be like, is it the S? Are you having trouble optimizing for PlayStation and Xbox? Like the pattern right now in the market's pretty clear that optimizing for console is typically not a problem. Optimizing for PC has been a bit of a challenge for some of these companies. Monster Hunter Wilds, and we're hearing the Rise of the Ronin port's not very good. Spider-Man 2 port wasn't very good because, and I think it's because it came too fast. I think they should have given it a longer breadth before it showed up. Feed and Derek are in the chat, man. We really are. Guys, something must be happening on YouTube. We might have had a blip or something. We just lost like 60 or 70 people. That usually means that the platform's acting squirrely. I am sorry if you're having to do a refresh. It's not on my end. All my stuff is rock solid. We have not been having these issues for a while. I was really hoping that when we switched to AV1 and the higher bit rate, that those problems would go away, and they seemingly did. So it seems like YouTube's having a bit of an issue today, and it's not from me. Battlefield's looking good. Did you see any of the footage, Spike? Are you saying that it looks good? Yeah, the view count's kind of rebounding right now. That typically means that a bunch of people had to refresh, like we had some kind of an issue. The Series S has absolutely been a burden on this generation. I don't think you can even debate it. Listen, it's not even bashing. People always want to interpret what I do as bashing. And it's like, what else are we supposed to say? What else are we supposed to say? Every single time a game has had to be delayed or pushed back for that platform, it's always been related to that. And you know what I mean? It's like, now somebody might push back, and this is fair pushback. This is actually fair pushback. They might be like, if it was only the Series S, they would ship it on the PS5. And I would say, maybe. They're in a marketing contract with Microsoft, so no, I don't think so. I think they said, listen, we got to gather intel here. We got to get this thing out and start doing early access and getting player feedback. Let's at least ship it on PC. But I wouldn't be surprised if that marketing contract with Xbox restricted them from shipping it to PlayStation, with first, and it coming, to Xbox later. That wouldn't surprise me at all, if that was part of the deal. I don't know. How will they handle the S when the new Xbox releases? I don't think the new Xbox is threatened by the X. I'm sorry, by the S, because I think the new Xbox is. I don't think it's going to be a power narrative pusher. I think it's going to be some type of a hybrid, a mini PC. I don't think it's going to be a traditional console. I don't think they're going to fight the console fight with power either. I don't think they're going to like try to come out and like one up the PS5 Pro. I think they're going to try to come out and have features. If you analyze a lot of what Phil Spencer has said about what they want to do and how they want their hardware to win in the future, he seems to be talking about features and not power. So if you couple what he said with what Sarah Bond said, I think their big technical leap is going to be, and again, I think part of the slogan, part of the campaign, part of the push is they're going to say more than a console. Like, it's not going to be just a console. You know, imagine that being the marketing push, the Xbox, and they literally shape it like a cube, like an actual box, and they say the Xbox more than a console. I think that's got some punch. I do. I think that's got appeal. I think there's something to that. I'm not saying that that's what they're going to do. I'm envisioning that being sort of the thrust and sort of the idea behind it. If Steam is looking to get into the console market, an Xbox Steam hybrid would be ideal. If the next console is going to be a PC hybrid, I don't see it having mods, but I do see it having options for graphics to be higher or lower in FPS. I don't... Maybe. I don't know if they would give you the ability to like basically treat it in the same way. I mean, but again, if it basically functions like a pre-built PC, I mean, I can do that on my pre-built. I can go in and play games and fiddle with settings if I was doing that. I'm not. It didn't work for the Xbox One unless it has a Steam function, sure. I'm not saying they would push the TV thing, Kage. I'm saying they would push more than a console. It would be a bridge between console and PC. I think that's been the vision for a long time. I think they've wanted to bridge the gap between console and PC. I made that prediction in like 2017 or 2018. We were watching an E3 together, and I said, I think Xbox is going a different route than PlayStation. I think Xbox wants to build an ecosystem where they blur the line. I think the phrasing I used was they want to blur the line between PC and console so that they can then approach developers and say, when you develop a game for Xbox's platform, you're developing a game for way more potential consumers and users. Now, I think that is backfiring on them. I don't think it's working well, and here's why. I actually think their current marketing thrust and their current idea and their current brand identity of, you know, every screen is an Xbox, I think that backfires. I don't think people want to develop a game and be like, oh, no, that's fine. Go ahead and let people play this on a Fire Stick, tablet, or smart TV. I don't think so. I don't think developers are going to be receptive to that. I think they're going to be like, what? No. We like to build games for the console. We like to build games for a platform so that we can tap into the hardware and tap into features and tap into power and have the game run really, really well. The last thing we want to do is dumb our game down for Series S, and then in conjunction with that, you're going to run it on a Series S profile on the cloud. I'm telling you, a lot of companies are going to be like, we don't want our game to look like that. You know, we don't want our game to look like that. We don't want our game to run like that. We don't want our game packaged that way. I think they've made themselves... I don't know. I just feel like they've made themselves radioactive. I think third-party devs and publishers are going to look at that and say, that's not conducive to our plan. That's not conducive to our business structure and our business aims. It just isn't. And yeah, I think it's going to be an issue. Abyss says, I'm never buying an Xbox again. I think others will follow. I mean, I made a video recently about that, about jumping ship, and a lot of people got angry, but a lot of people were agreeing with me. They were like, I appreciate this video. They're like, I made the jump. You know? They're like, I made the jump. And I think that that's fine. I think that's what you should do as a consumer. I think you should go where you feel like you're getting the most value. And if you don't feel, you know, if you feel like you're still getting the most value out of your console, then you're making the right choice by staying there. Can Microsoft throw money at the problem you're describing because they will try that first? I mean, so if you look at GTA 6, right? We had the question earlier. I've got my video coming later about GTA 6 and will it be 60 FPS or 30 FPS or whatever. And if you look at that game in particular, and if they're facing development problems or performance problems, or it's, you know, maybe it's not going to run that well on Series S, and like, let's say Xbox sees it as a problem and they're trying to solve the problem. You know, Game Logic was in here the other day and he's like, it's just time to cut the Series S loose. The users are low return anyway, right? I think he used the phrase, they're low ARPU or whatever it is, whatever acronym he used. And you're going to, you're going to be making more money in other ways. So you got to think about your own games as well. So let's just consider the most recent leak about Call of Duty 2026. So Call of Duty 2026 is leaving behind old gen and is allegedly being developed for the next gen Xbox. What does that mean for the Series S? Just stop and think for a second. Don't be like, oh no, here goes Reforge raging against the Series S again. Just stop and think with me for just a second. If you're leaving behind old gen and one of the main pushes for the next Call of Duty is that it's going to be next gen only and it's going to be, for the new Xbox, are you really going to want that thing having to deal with the Series S? Like, is that something that's going to even be in the room at that point? I don't think anybody considered that when they heard that leak and they heard that rumor. They were just kind of like, oh yeah, Xbox is about to strike back. And it's like, I don't know. If you're developing a game right now for whatever you view is the hardware, is the gen beyond what you're on now, buddy, that Series S to me feels like it's in danger at that point. To think that AI is going to take over in the next decade's insane. Money over people's way of living, adjust or die mentality is also crazy. I don't know what you're saying, PL. What I can see is the Xbox strategy being so that a console at a cheaper price with a lot of games, while PlayStation sells at a higher price for the exclusives. Xbox income will mainly be the games. Yeah, I'm just, I don't know. I'm very, very curious how it's going to go. I am. And if that's their plan, if that's their goal, then, to keep supporting it or to leave it behind, I think the most interesting thing will be how they couch it, how they talk about it. I think that's going to be, that's going to be the biggest thing. I mean, you've got another major title coming out this year, and there's no parity. Like, AC Shadows is not going to have a performance mode on the Series S. Like, all those promises are they are literally gone. I mean, oh yeah, the only thing you really have to worry about is it'll run a lower resolution. It'll run at 1440. Holy moly, that's not true. Holy moly, that's not true. The next-gen Xbox, if it's a handheld, it won't be better than the X anyway. If it's a handheld, it certainly won't change things, Paul. It won't. Back to the decoupling idea, Call of Duty is worried only about Call of Duty. The hardware team is on their own. Good luck, Series S. Yeah, I mean, if they've truly decoupled everything, I think that, yeah, that's another thing to consider. That's another thing to consider, is that there is, I think, a significant shift in how they approach things. Like in the past, you would have been like, well, for sure, this is supposed to motivate people. This is supposed to motivate people to buy the console. This is supposed to motivate people to jump into the ecosystem. And if they're no longer doing that, then again, are there presumptions that we're making about certain things that are do we have outdated presumptions? Cheering on the ABK deal only for Xbox to abandon you, it's brutal. Bit off topic, but have you seen anything on Game Alters? It looks pretty neat. I really like the way that game looks. That's another game that was in an Xbox showcase that was promised on a timeline and it got delayed. Another Game Pass game that, I mean, that pattern has just got to be, it's got to be irritating. I can't imagine being an Xbox loyal and an Xbox Game Pass person and not be like, what the heck is going on? You guys keep doing this. Where are the PlayStation games you have nothing until May? I don't understand why. What do you mean by where are the PlayStation games? What? what did you play on your Xbox when Xbox wasn't delivering? So in between Hellblade 2 and Stalker and Indiana Jones, what did you play? I'm assuming you played other games, right? You played third-party games, right? Like Hellblade 2 came out, and then you had to wait a big stretch of time before you could play something that Xbox was publishing, paying for exclusivity, or developing. So you had a big window of time in between Hellblade 2 and those games. What did you play? I'm assuming you played third-party games. What did you play when there was like an entire stretch of time where Xbox had nothing coming out? There was like a whole year. Phil Spencer described it as a disaster. What did you play in that time? You had your console, you had your loyalty, you had your Game Pass. I'm going to assume that you played third-party games. So you did something that the rest of the gaming community regularly does. We just play other games. I rolled credits this year on Space Marine 2, Kane and Bridge of Spirits, Tales of Iron 1, Tales of Iron 2, Nine Souls. I just rolled credits on Split Fiction with my wife. What was the other one? There was one other game. Oh, Final Fantasy 16. I rolled credits on 7 games. I'm having a perfectly fine time. Like, I mean, I think this idea that because like there's been a bit of a space between the first party studios all on Xbox. Yes, and everything that you were playing on your Xbox is either on PlayStation or coming to PlayStation. You understand that, right? Like when you had those big gaps and there were no exclusives and there were no Xbox published games or Xbox first party games, and you were playing third party, you were playing games that I could play on my PlayStation. You're not winning. There's nothing to win anymore. This idea that you're going to like come in here and get me or anybody here upset about the fact that like PlayStation is waiting on their games. Like, okay, we got Yote, Death Stranding 2, and Lost Soul Aside. 3 first-party games from PlayStation this year. According to Phil Spencer's own definition, those are all first-party games. So we've got 3 coming this year. We also have AC Shadows. We also just had Split Fiction come out, which was an absolute blast. A bunch of people are enjoying Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Monster Hunter Wilds. Mafia the Old Country is coming out. Like, do you see what I'm saying? You're talking to gamers. You guys keep forgetting this. You keep forgetting this. We're gamers. Are you a gamer? Then why care about what you're caring about? You aren't going to win some fight here. Nobody cares about the things that you care about. Nobody. It would be like randomly coming in here and asking me, how many collector's edition, baseball cards I have from the 1980s. It's like, none. I don't care about that. I have more than you. Okay. I have all 3. Listen, the interesting thing about Xbox is they have had such a terrible run this gen. Now all of a sudden, you guys play this like really. I just think it's embarrassing. It's just such an embarrassing thing. It's like you only care about the inning where you're scoring points. You ignore all the other innings where you weren't scoring points or it was tied. Like there was an equal amount of things coming out from both companies. You fixate on like a small window of time. You're like, oh yeah, haha, what do you got? What do you got? And it's like, I've got 4 years behind me with way more exclusives than you, way better exclusives than you, more nominations, more awards for the games over here than you. You want to ignore those 4 years? That seems very convenient. It's like losing the entire season and having like one good game and acting like you're the cock of the walk. It's like, okay, if that makes you feel better, I guess go ahead and celebrate. But why not just come in here and have a conversation and be a part of the community instead of coming in and be like, hey, you guys are having a discussion and a nice back and forth. Yeah, PlayStation doesn't have any games right now. Okay. Do you have anything else to say? Yeah, you're right. PlayStation's cadence of their first-party studios delivering games has slowed down. Great. You won that fight. Congrats. What else do you want to talk about now? You want more first-party? Either adjust your expectations in line with reality or face perpetual disappointment. They don't care about that. Their value system's not lined up with yours. This is something that will get called pony coping because people can't talk outside of tribalism, and they also are liars and false frame my content every day. So go ahead and clip this. Do it, Astro Cyborg. You lie about me every day and false frame me, and I'm going to continue to call you out about it because you want to clip me every day. Well, I'll call you a liar every day because you are one. You've got to understand, PlayStation does not have your value system. You have to see that. Yoshida just did an interview with Colin Moriarty and spelled this out in black and white. He spelled it out in black and white. It's like they have first party, second party, third party. All these things matter to their ecosystem. And a 5 bomb from Jack Garland, and he gets us right on the doorstep of 600. So he outlines how they view it, and it's like, well, first party is we own the studio and we own the IP. Then we don't own the studio and we own the IP. Then we don't own the studio or the IP, but we're going to publish the game. Do you see? So it's like, you don't count Stellar Blade. You don't count Helldivers 2. You don't count Rise of the Ronin. You're not going to count any of those games last year because you've got some weird particular way of keeping score. And PlayStation's like, we don't know why you're doing that. We don't do that. A 5 bomb from Pathalon Phoenix. And that's an Agent of Chaos. And he gets us to 602. It looks like you guys want that Saturday night stream. Exactly, Paul. It's always been roughly 2 to 3 first-party efforts every year. And those first-party efforts could be a Stellar Blade. It could be a Death Stranding 2. And you're not going to count it. But why? Stellar Blade was a great game. It was my favorite game last year. I loved it. The combat reminded me of Sekiro. Death Stranding 2 looks breathtaking. That is a publishing effort from PlayStation. They spent their money to bring you a game. And you're like, doesn't count. You have to own the studio. Okay. Then just be perpetually disappointed because you've made up the weirdest score sheet I think I've ever seen a gamer come up with. And a 5 bomb from Raven. It is such a weird score sheet. You're wasting your time and your energy. You ain't gonna ruffle my feathers or anybody's feathers here because we don't share your value system. We don't care about that. I look at PlayStation's investments, their efforts, and their goals, and I see it bringing me quality games. I get games like Stellar Blade, Helldivers 2, Rise of the Ronin. Even Grand Blue Fantasy Relink is like calling my name. It looks fun. It feels like a more arcade-ish Final Fantasy 16 mixed with a bit of Monhun. And that's from their efforts. That's from PlayStation's efforts. They brought that to me. They're bringing me Yote this year. Lost Soul Aside, Death Stranding 2. I think that's great. Just like Xbox paid money to bring you Stalker 2. You got Stalker 2 last year. I kept counting that in Xbox's corner. I was like, that's an exclusive. That's something Xbox invested money in. I missed Rissix. And a 5 bomb from Rissik. You guys went on a 5 bomb train and I didn't call it out. Thank you so much. We got a little bit of a 5 bomb train going. Somebody jump on and do one. I'm going to do one. Keep it going. Let's get more and more people in the members. Let's get them in. We're going to do a fun stream tonight and this afternoon for members. Ironically, they're doing the same thing as Xbox. They can't compete, so they're just quitting and playing a different game. I'm not sure what you mean. Why would we care about the studio that's putting out great games not owned by Sony? Yeah, like, I guess to me, like, what to you is the... I need you to explain this to me, King Xbox. I know you're just in here on an alt to get clips, and I don't care. You cowards are amusing to me. So, like, what's the qualitative difference between Stellar Blade and Astrobot or Stellar Blade and Yote? What's the qualitative difference to you? What is it? And Phil McCook and Kardock Wren with 5 bombs. The 5 bomb train is here. And we are now at 6 12. You love to see it, getting more and more people in the community. I know you're just in here clip farming. I know you are. I know you are, because you guys think that targeted harassment and making fun of people is good content. I don't respect any of the people that do it. The gloves are off. I think you guys create refuse and you mess with people and you attack people. I think it's because you're all scared and you're all small. So keep getting your clips, but I truly don't understand why you guys care about this stuff. Nobody's ever outlined it for me. What's the difference? Why do you care? Space Jockey with a 5-bomb. The 5-bomb train continues. Can you outline your position? What to you is the difference between do it for me? So Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, and Ragnarok. You just want more from PlayStation? Okay. You don't have a position. You don't have a position. You speak in platitudes. No original thought. You're not interesting anymore. GC plugs, gifts a member, and then a 5-bomb comes in from Brandon. You're no longer interesting. You don't have a position for me to unearth and understand. You only speak in platitudes. What you're saying, there's nothing original to what you're saying. You're not saying anything of substance. You're just saying, I want more from PlayStation. And I could sit here and list all the games they brought to market this gen till I'm blue in the face, and you'll just keep saying it because you don't truly believe it. It's just a position that you can say in your hopes to like upset PlayStation fans or upset me because you think I'm some like pony or something. So it's like, okay, cool. You're not interesting anymore. You're just a batting cage of platitudes. And a single from Stonespire. And a single from Stonespire. I got to add these in. Hang on. You guys, what is that? 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I see what you're doing, I think. Hang on. That would be 35. Oh, I messed it up. It's stuck. Hang on, I'll unstick it. Like, it's the position's not interesting. You're not saying anything anymore. It's like the guys that say Xbox better. I'm like, okay, better at what? Like, Astro 1.5 out of 75 million is not good. Yeah, I know, 187, and that means every single game that launches on Steam is an abysmal failure. Your argument is, with all due respect, 187, that argument is so stupid and so ignorant. When you claim Astrobot selling 1.5 million out of 75 million, which, by the way, it's probably higher than that by now, so that number is going to keep climbing, interestingly enough, but you just called every game that launches on Steam an abysmal failure. It's quite literally the most brain-dead argument that people make. You declared every game a failure with that logic. It's inconsistent, it's cherry-picked, and it's only ever used against PlayStation. You'd never say that about Nintendo games. 150 million market saturation of the Nintendo Switch. You would never use saturation of the sales of a Nintendo game on that platform. You'd be like, yeah, it failed. You'd never do that with a game launching on Steam, only selling to a fraction of the Steam user base. Do you want to know why you'd never use that logic anywhere else? Because it's not driven by facts, logic, reason, or intelligence. It's driven by fandom. It's driven by ideology. It's driven by grifters and haters. It's illogical. It doesn't make any sense. As soon as you apply the logic to Steam or Nintendo or multiplats that land on Xbox, Steam, and PlayStation and Nintendo, you look like an absolute buffoon. Do it with Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy was available on Steam, the entire Steam user base, the entire next-gen user base, the entire old-gen user base, and 150 million Nintendo Switches. Hogwarts Legacy was an embarrassing commercial failure according to your absolutely dumb, busted, no sense to it at all logic. You will never say this about other games. You will never do it. Because you would look really dumb. And let me tell you something. You do look really dumb when you make the argument about Astrobot. It only gets traction because people shut their critical thinking off and they think like a fanboy. And they're like, yep, haha, Astrobot failed. According to your mathematical logic, Hogwarts Legacy failed as well. It did. It sold to a fraction of a gigantic potential audience. Just a fraction of the audience. I'm going to clip the Hogwarts was an abysmal failure part and give it to Astro Cyborg. Be right back. He'll love it. He'll love it. He loves to lie about me and false frame my clips so he can earn money on Twitter Blue. Earning money off of lying is it's a real respectable thing to do. %8 of the U.S. population eats at McDonald's on the average day, so I guess they're awful at what they do. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Pick any of these guys that say that, you know. Pick any of these guys that say that they make the argument about Astrobot. Ask them what their favorite game is and show them how dumb they are. What's your favorite game? What's a game that you think's crushing it right now? Okay, cool. Let's add up the number of people who could have bought Monster Hunter Wilds, and let's see what percentage that it sold across Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation. Let's do it. Let's see what the percentage is. 8 million in 3 days. You would call a failure according to your logic. I come from a different era. 1 million isn't good. You come from a different era? What era do you come from? The era of stupid math? Can we time travel to that era and laugh at the dumb math? I want to have a wry chuckle. What era do you come from? What? Are you on team stupid math? Are you on team failed out of algebra? What team are you on? No, there's no reason to be nice about this. You're propagating a dumb argument. It's stupid. There's no logic to it. There's no logic to it. There's no substance to it. 1 million sales isn't good. Like, what are we even talking about? Halo 1 and 3 had 80 million sold in my era. Yes, but see, now what you're doing is you're doing false equivalencies and false comparisons. You could do that with anything, homie. We could look at any game and find another game that sold more to claim a game as a failure. That's ridiculous. You have to see how ludicrous what you're claiming is. It was Halo. It was a generation-defining game. You're also talking about the era of time where Xbox had some of its best sales and best saturation. Like, of course, Halo sold well. It was their flagship title. It was a generation-defining game. It's also 81 million. It's also 81 million of all of Halo, according to Google. Halo has sold 81 million across all Halo games since 2001. So you're not even citing the right fact. Traditionally, PlayStation exclusives never sold a gazillion copies individually. Only a few do each generation. Haters been crying about PlayStation exclusive attach rate since 2014. Here's the question you have to ask. Here's the question you have to ask. If attach rate's so important, then why is Game Pass so great? Why is Game Pass so great? Seemingly murders attach rate, according to Microsoft's internal documentation. It cannibalizes game sales. So why are you fixating on attach rate? I don't have Game Pass? Let me ask you a different question then. If attach rates are so bad for PlayStation games, we're going to cite like Astrobot. Why is PlayStation doing so well then? Why are they hitting strong revenue? Why are they hitting strong growth? Why are they hitting stronger MAUs? Why are they getting new user acquisition? Like, if attach rates are what you're going to fixate on, why are they doing so well? Well, got him on the ropes. He's on the canvas and doesn't know it. Gamers have spoken. They want PlayStation. All good. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Gamers have spoken. The market has spoken. So fixating on attach rate is just stupid. It's like you're not arguing anything. You're grabbing a random stat and just misinterpreting it to claim that a game didn't do well. It's illogical. That's the reason I get so firm on this, is because this isn't subjective. This isn't opinion. It's illogical. It's delusional. If you took the argument and said, when a game sells this percentage of saturation, it's a failure, it's a flop, it's, as you said, it's bad, then I'm going to apply your logic. I'm testing your logic. Do you know what that is? I'm going to test your logic, and I'm going to take it to other arenas and see if the logic holds. And it doesn't. It doesn't hold. It shatters into a million pieces. It's like, okay, let's look at one of the most commercially successful games in the last couple of years, Hogwarts Legacy. Let's look at the number of people who could have bought it and then the number of people that did. Oh, wow. According to your logic, Hogwarts Legacy was an abysmal failure. It didn't do well. It sold a very low percentage of saturation in the market. It's if you test the logic, it breaks. So that's my point, is you're not uttering opinion. And I even think opinions are more respectable when they're backed by facts and good research and good logic and good reason. Did you reason yourself into this position? I don't think that you did. I think you watched a content creator, podcast video, or saw a tweet, somebody taking this, what I consider to be a cherry-picked cheap shot, and there's like, yeah, Astrobot didn't get good saturation. That's what you sound like, okay? You sound crazy. You sound loony. It's not a reasoned position. It's why I don't respect it. It's like, there's nothing reasonable about this. You didn't look at facts and evidence and come to this conclusion. You've not researched this. You're just repeating nonsense. You're just parroting nonsense. And here's the thing. This is what I keep trying to drive this home. You're allowed to have the opinion that you didn't like Astrobot. You're allowed to have the opinion that you don't like the cadence of first-party studios from PlayStation. Those are completely fine opinions to have, but when you're going to come to conclusions about things, yeah, Astrobot's saturation's bad. Nope, incorrect, false. That's not an opinion. That's not subjective. You are in error. If you start slicing the difference, I think you'll see why I zero in on things so quickly and so viscerally. I'm like, no, that's erroneous. Stop it. You can come in here and say, I did this yesterday with a guy who was like, he didn't see the value in upgrading to the PS5 Pro. He outlined his argument. It was based on the money that he could save by buying games. And I was like, you sound like a smart consumer. Because he was applying his own reason, his own subjectivity, and his own opinion and coming to a conclusion about how to spend his money. And because that's subjective and that's his choice as a consumer, I was like, I respect that. I don't respect falsehood. I don't. I have just such a disdain for it. It's like when you bite into something and it tastes bad and you spit it out. That's why I've taken the gloves off with these grifters who lie about me and attack me. I don't respect you. I don't. You project onto me dishonesty and grifting and all of that because that's your only currency. That's the only thing you can do to justify your behavior, is you've got to paint me as a bad guy. What did I miss? Did I miss something? No, I thought I missed something. Did I? I didn't miss anybody doing anything, did I? Like super chats or something? Okay. Game Pass is great for trying out new games, but I don't usually end up buying anything I play on Game Pass. I try it out, uninstall it, go back to whatever game I'm hooked on at the moment. AOZ says he's comparing a new game that still has years to sell, and instead he compares it to the total sales of a game that's had over a decade to sell. That's why I said it's a false equivalency. It's a false comparison. That would be like comparing, the opening weekend of a movie to every red cent that Star Wars has made. It would just be stupid. Oh, that movie failed. Why? Well, if you look at the Star Wars franchise and the amount of money that's amassed over the last 40 years, it's just this is clearly better. Well, of course, a household name that's been around for a long time. Of course, it's generated more sales. Don't lump people in with the southern accent. I'm offended. Sorry, Jason F. Guys, Jason F is here. Feed is here. My brother's here. If we hit 700, I should have made it higher. Dadgummit. If you get to 700, you're getting a Saturday night stream. Sony's happy with the Astrobot sales. They're even considering more family games due to Astrobot's success during the earnings. Right. You have to consider what Astrobot represents. Astrobot was a very, very small budget game that is making insane return on investment. I mean, I can't imagine how in the green they are. You know what I mean? They are so thrilled by that game. The return of investment on that game is just absurd. It's like the return of investment on Helldivers 2. They were not even planning on hitting the numbers that they hit. They weren't even thinking that was possible. What was the budget? We can extrapolate it's on the low end of budget due to the studio size, due to the number of employees. It's a small studio. What is it, 80 people? I can't imagine having an under 100 person studio make a game that sells, it's on its way to 2 million easy, I bet. It's got to be on its way to 2 million sales, 1.5 million. Come on. 65 members made Astrobot. Yeah, I mean, if you compare that to other studios, we don't have the hard numbers, but it's good golly. My guess would be around a 40 million budget. 68 developers at most. Yeah. Thank you for the €6, Raven. I appreciate the super chat. Starting the new super chat goal. We need smaller games again. Hollow, I've actually said that I think we're about to enter the era where you see more AAs and indies rise. And I don't mean the studios themselves. I think you're going to see AA sized games and indie sized games rise. I think you're just going to see more of it. Either studio size or I think some of the AAA studios are going to start taking smaller shots. Instead of putting the entire studio on a massive Leviathan game for 5 or 6 years, they'll do 2 projects for 5 or 6 years that are smaller bets. So they're not in jeopardy of financial ruin if one of the games doesn't sell as well as they need it to. I think they're going to start doing that. I think that's how some of these companies stay solvent. It was 1.5 at November. Yeah, we don't know the total. I'm sorry, Team Sobe is only 80 employees. Games only count if they were made by studios over 300. I mean, what is Sony even doing? Yeah, they don't count. That's right. Make up some random arbitrary point sheet, Peachy Creamy. Narwaffle with 33 months in the VIP, 33 months with no end in sight. Reforge the GOAT. Thank you, Narwaffle. Let me add you to the total here. 636. I've been saying what you just said for a while now. Just split the games down to smaller segments to create less risk for one massive game failing. Oh, exactly. I think we already saw the beginnings of that when we saw that they were considering breaking Spider-Man into 2 parts. I think that's kind of the beginnings of that. Oh yeah, they're going to start to place smaller bets. They'll start placing smaller bets, I bet. I bet. The 1.5 number was announced in November, but it is through October. It literally represents the first month of sales. For big companies, their solution to most problems is more. Getting to realize smaller is better is hard. Oh, for sure. I mean, I think Ubisoft is really learning that lesson. They're just too big. They're just way too big, and I think it's really, really hurt them. Split Fiction peaked at like 197,000 players. Gee, many Christmas. That's incredible. I'm so happy for that team. That is just, to me, that's a thrill. You guys know I love co-op. I'm like obsessed with co-op. It's like those guys are the co-op kings. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to have an Elden Ring-like effect on the market. And in about 4 to 5 years, you know how we're getting flooded with like Hades clones? We're going to have so many co-op games. There's one even coming out that seems very much inspired by those guys. I forget what it was called. Like the each player's in like a different world of color or something. It looked very much inspired by It Takes Two. We need more split-screen co-op games. I think the breakthrough that those guys came up with is that you can play split-screen with somebody in another state or country. Like, I think It Takes Two and A Way Out and those games really made people say, wait, we've been thinking wrong about this. Like, split-screen co-op doesn't have to just be local. I only got Astrobot for my daughter. She loves it. All it matters. I never play. It's not my type of game. Yeah, but I feel like we've done this before. You don't come in interested in having a conversation. You come in because you want to throw out, you know, your anti-PlayStation talking points. And listen, man, I'm just not interested in that. I want community members. I don't need propaganda parrots. I'm not interested in that. We're getting another Little Nightmares game. That's true, we are. And it's co-op. The next one's co-op, isn't it? More local co-op sounds better. Bring back the era of couch trash talking. But the beauty of what they did with like It Takes Two and what they did with Split Fiction is that it's couch co-op, but you can do it with somebody who isn't there. Propaganda parrots. Time to change the emote. Omar, that's right. Co-op resurgence is here for sure. Liquid Smoke, we don't need to go that hard, you know. We don't need to go that hard. We don't need to like yell and hurl insults like that. If you guys haven't had a second to do it, make sure and smash the like button. Try to get us to 400 likes. And we hit a really big goal today on the channel, so thank you to everybody who did it. We're going to have an IRL celebration stream. We have 600 people now paying for their own membership. That's been a big goal on the channel. We have people who are very generous. We typically have about 2,000 people who have been gifted a member every single month, and we want to get to more and more folks. And you can help us get to the next goal. We're going to try and continue to push that milestone, and you can help us with that. My man Space Jockey, dude, so generous lately to the channel. I know it must be exhausting, but it makes my day when you put the liars who show up on your stream in their place. I respect the importance you give to truth. Thank you very much. Well, I appreciate that, Space Jockey. And thank you for a $20 super chat. That is very, very good. Very, very generous. Sorry, I'm reading chat. That's very, very generous. Which is better, It Takes Two or Split Fiction? Each one's better at something. Like, I think Split Fiction's better at the action and better at like game design and boss mechanics. I think It Takes Two is a little bit more charming and like adventure-y. Like, I don't know. I feel like they're both good at what they set out to do. They're very different, so it's hard to say like which one's better. I would probably prefer Split Fiction though. I think it has really good replay value. It's really fun. Yeah. Some of the boss fights are just a blast. They really, really are. Lono, spill the tea. Is it Sackboy inside the robot suit piloting? Huh? What are you talking about? The game we're talking about, is it Popucom? Oh, is it Popucom? The one where like in two different worlds? Let me see. They announced it at one of the showcases recently. No. It's not Popcom. It's like a new split screen co-op game, different color worlds. That's what's it called? Oh shoot. There's one that these guys are calling the new Overcooked. I can't remember what this one oh, this one is it. Yeah, from the creators of Overcooked. Yeah. It's called, it's this one. It's where they're each in their own individual world, like with the colors. Is this called Stage Fright, Eric? Is that what this is called? Yeah, this one feels very much inspired by Stage Fright. Yeah. That one feels very much inspired by It Takes Two. Like the splitting it down the middle like that, and like you're in the same place but not. Yeah. I think that one looks really, really cool. I don't know if we have a release date yet for that. Stage Fright game release date. It's slated for 2026. It's looking like slated for 2026. I don't know if they put anything at the end of that trailer. Yeah, just wish list now. Oh, Hello Games is publishing that. I feel like Lono doesn't know Sackboy. No, I know Sackboy. I played the game with my wife. I don't get the joke about spill the tea. He's the one in the thing. That sentence didn't make any sense. Ghost of Tsushima was the first game I 100%ed. Can't wait for Yote. I think they were asking if Sackboy was piloting a Reforge robot, i.e. you. Huh? Oh, is Sackboy inside the Astrobot suit? Is that what he was asking me? Yeah, I don't know. I didn't understand the joke. The sentence didn't even make any sense. It was nonsensical. He's asking if you think Sackboy is driving the Astrobot character. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if that's what they were like trying to joke or indicate or whatever. I've seen a couple of you guys try to ask questions and they're not getting grabbed by Nightbot. I'm not sure what's going on. The last question I have is from Perfect Image. Nightbot's not even replying to you guys. Is Nightbot working? Yeah, it seems like Nightbot's taking the day off. Nightbot's not doing anything. Yeah, because I've got this question from Perfect Image. Who's going to take care of indies from PlayStation? I don't know if they've appointed anybody to that particular role. I've not looked into it. Nightbot on vacay? Yeah, he's not replying to anything right now. He's on vacay. Yeah, he's taking a. Well, it's 1 o'clock. Maybe he's taking a siesta. I don't know. He's taking a nap, chat. Well, just to recap, guys, we today has been about a variety of topics. GTA 6 60 FPS was kind of the lead. I've got a video coming that I'll send you to guys later about why I think it will be. And I look at a lot of different things. I look at behavior from Rockstar. I look at the community. I look at the industry. I go all the way back to 2022 in a particular game there that I think kind of started all this. So GTA 6 was certainly a part of the topic today. And he's mad people were thrashing Astrobot. Who's mad? Oh, Nightbot's mad. Yeah. He's mad that you were picking on Astrobot. We also talked about how Starfield's got a big update coming this year, apparently. We talked about all the new AC Shadows footage, as well as the PS5 Pro enhancements. And ordinarily right now, I would tell you guys to use the question command to, say what you want to say and submit questions, but not Astrobot, Nightbot is having a hard time. Just going to dump this from the stream for now, and I'll look over the rest of the recording later. Are people legit just dumping Battlefield footage out onto... that guy has been cast as Cerberus Snape? I really think they're asking for trouble that's not needed. You know what's interesting as well is the illustrated versions of Harry Potter that I'm reading to my kids. They have images of Cerberus Snape in there that were approved by J.K. Rowling, and he's like gaunt, really pale, his hair's real stringy, like, and then you got the movies, obviously. I just think that just is such a strange choice, and that just is going to invite so much unnecessary criticism. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, he's also like egregiously picked on by James Potter and Sirius Black. No, maybe not Sirius Black. One of the other guys pick on him. I don't know. That just... They're doing it on purpose to get attention? I guess. I just get tired of the topic. It's like, you're doing this and this is what we're going to have to talk about. Thanks. Thank you so much. Now we get to discuss this instead of how good the show is. We're hearing, you're saying McTeer is going to be McGonagall? Yeah, she'll be fine. That'll be good. They're remaking it. They're going to do a show. It's an HBO show, is it not? Yeah, it's HBO. Yeah. Yeah, John Lithgow as Dumbledore is going to be amazing. Like, as an HBO show, production quality is going to be probably stupid. Sydney Sweeney will be as Hagrid. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Golly goodness. Lithgow said this will be his final chapter. That's a good note to go out on. You know? He did an amazing job as Churchill. So, you know? The question command's not working. I don't know why. You're like the fourth person to try. You said Xbox is cooking 20 studios making games for all of us, and then needing to drip feed 40 titles to Game Pass. What is Sony doing? Wait, I'm confused. So are you asking what is Sony doing in comparison to the number of studios that Xbox owns? Are you road mapping right now? So I'm confused. Are you assuming that those 20 studios that are making the games, like under Xbox right now, are you assuming the cadence of those games? Like, do you even know when they're going to come out? Do you even know what quality they're going to be at? Are they going to be at the quality of Redfall, Starfield, Forza Motorsport? Are they going to be 30 FPS like Hellblade 2? Are they going to have a performance mode like Avowed does that's inconsistent and bad? Like, do you think Xbox first-party studios this gen have done a good job? Forza Horizon was good, Hi-Fi was good, and Indiana Jones was good. Everything else has had pretty serious quality problems in my mind. Either shipping at 30 FPS or being just broken and bad. Like Redfall, embarrassment. Forza Motorsport, embarrassment. Like, Avowed's performance mode was seemingly pushed and added late, and it doesn't run very well at all. Very inconsistent. So I don't understand. Like, your presumption is, well, they've got these 20 studios cooking, so they're doing better? Just asking. Do not know what Sony is doing, as they are silent. Do you know what Xbox is doing? Where's Everwild? Where's State of Decay 3? This isn't whataboutism. I'm saying, We don't know beyond a couple of titles typically. That's normal. PlayStation has either released or announced a first-party game, 6 of them in like the last 6 months. They announced Saros, they announced Yote, Death Stranding 2, Lost Soul Aside. What were the other ones? They released Astrobot. I'm missing one. What is it? I'm missing it. Can't think of it. It's escaping my memory. Oh, Intergalactic. There's 6 right there. There's 6 there right there that they've announced that they're working on. What are all these Xbox titles? What are they? Do you know when Perfect Dark is coming? Do you know when Everwild is coming? Do you know when State of Decay 3 is coming? Do you? Yeah, we know they're working on Wolverine. There's 7. I'm trying to show you there's no difference here. We both know a bunch of the games they're working on. We have no idea when they're coming. Are you know what I'm saying? Like, be consistent. And then Fable just got delayed. You have no idea when Fable's coming. Yeah, Phantom Blade Zero. I think it's slated for next year. Do you know when Marvel's Blade is coming? Do you? Of course you don't. Do you see? Like, this is what always frustrates me with this, is like, you guys aren't consistent. You want to act like Xbox has all these games coming. What's Sony doing? It's like, we actually know almost an equal amount of games that are coming to market and being worked on, and we also know about the same amount of release dates. That's why there are delays. They've learned from their mistakes. Oh, okay. I hope you're right. No, I hope you're right. The quality that they've shipped at this gen has been bad. It's been very poor. It's been very inconsistent. And I really hope they change. Every single first-party game I've gotten from PlayStation this year has been at very high quality. The worst were publishing efforts, which were Ronin and FF16, with respect to quality. FF16 performance mode was very bad. I was very frustrated by it. And Ronin had very inconsistent performance in the open world. So outside of that, everything else PlayStation brought to market this year from their studios or their publishing efforts was at a very high quality. They didn't ship... Well, Concord wasn't buggy or glitchy. Nobody wanted to play it, right? Concord wasn't buggy or glitchy. It was crap, and nobody wanted to play it. But they didn't bring a broken, buggy 30 FPS game to market. So yeah, Concord, yeah, a failure and a flop because of the market, and nobody wanted to play it. But it wasn't a glitchy and buggy game. So I don't look at Xbox and think like, oh yeah, I can't wait for all their games to come out. Like, especially, again, if you're going to look at PlayStation and pull this card of like, well, where are all their games? There are 7 games right now that we know they're making, and we don't know when they're releasing. You could say the exact same thing about Xbox. State of Decay 3, Everwild. We don't know when Fable's releasing. They just delayed it again. We have no idea when it's releasing. Just sometime next year. It got delayed. Perfect Dark. You don't know. E-Day Forspoken wasn't buggy and glitchy at launch. It just didn't do well today. So look, you probably have more. I'm probably forgetting some. There's got to be more games that Xbox has coming that we don't know the release dates of. Do you see? Like, let's just do a comparison. Make a list. We've got 7 games. No, we can't count Astrobot because it came out. Yeah, Elder Scrolls 6. Forspoken wasn't Sony first party. It was published by them, was it not? Or was it just an exclusive? Who published Forspoken? I can't remember. Don't forget Phantom Blade Zero. This is what always amuses me. It's like, where are the games? Where are the games? Where are the roadmap? What Sony's doing? It's like, Sony's announced just as many games. What are you talking about? Oh, Square Enix published it? Yeah, then you don't get to count it. It was just an exclusive. It's not even published by PlayStation. It was just an exclusive deal. You can't lay that at PlayStation's feet. That's not PlayStation first party. Like, let's actually make the list, and let's just consider here. Okay? Let's do it. We don't have anything else to do. So as far as PlayStation first party announced games. All right. We have Yote. We have Intergalactic. I can't spell Intergalactic. All right. We have Death Stranding 2. Oh, MLB The Show. Has it been announced? MLB The Show, I guess. MLB The Show. You have Soros. No competition, no roadmap. You don't have a roadmap from Xbox either. You have release dates for this year. You don't have a roadmap beyond that. So you could say that we don't have release dates. Yeah, we have Wolverine. You could say we don't have release dates. But Lost Soul aside, Phantom Blade 0. We're counting all publishing efforts because published games count. So we'll count, Ninja Gaiden or whatever for Xbox. I feel like I'm forgetting one. Yote, Intergalactic, Death Stranding 2, MLB The Show, Soros, Wolverine, Lost Soul aside, Phantom Blade 0. 8. Is there any that I'm missing? And you want to cite Xbox's roadmaps, don't make me laugh. They haven't hit one yet. Every single one of their roadmaps is a disaster. So many of the games mentioned in their roadmaps don't make it on time, whether it's the alters or replaced or what was the other one that just happened? It happened with Fragpunk. It happened with 33 Immortals. It happened with Towerborn. Their roadmaps are a freaking joke. Oh yeah, we can't forget Marathon, Fair Games. There's a ton of China Hero Project games I'm not even listing here. Yeah, I have Death Stranding 2. Okay, let's make our Xbox first party announced games. Okay? So, Fable, we don't know when it's coming. We just know it's been delayed. We got Perfect Dark. You got State of Decay 3. Physint. Kazan's not an exclusive to anybody. Oh yeah, Physint is that one from Kojima, is it not? Horizon multiplayer and the Horizon MMO, have those been those have not been officially announced. Those were like press releases for hiring. I'm not going to count those. Clockwork Revolution, yep. Clockwork Revolution, Everwild. Physint is Sony. Yeah. Gears of War E-Day. Hell Is Us is not an exclusive. Yeah, OD is the Xbox One. Thank you. That's the Kojima game with them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. Oh, yeah. I guess we could count the games coming, right? That we have release dates for, because we're counting Yote. So we got to count Doom: The Dark Ages. We got to count South of Midnight. We got to count what's the one? Outer Worlds 2. Outer Worlds 2, Doom: The Dark Ages. If we count Avowed, we have to count Astrobot, because we're basically let's just say what's coming and not count Avowed. Avowed's already out. Yeah, Ninja Gaiden 4. OD. We're just doing any publishing efforts. Expedition 33 is not published by either one of them. Midnight Walk isn't exclusive. I don't think PlayStation's publishing it though. We're just talking publishing efforts. Like if you're talking about roadmap, what are they doing with first party? What are they doing with their first party publishing efforts? What are they trying to bring to the market? We're trying to do a direct comparison here. Daniel, you just keep listing games that aren't first party publishing efforts from either platform, like Crimson Desert. You just keep listing games that don't count. Towerborn. Okay. If we do Towerborn and 33 Immortals, are those being published by Xbox? Towerborn, Steam. And then 33. If we're going to count those, we're going to have to go and get Xbox is publishing Towerborn. Who's publishing 33 Immortals? Thunder Lotus Games is publishing 33 Immortals. Can't count that one. We got Clockwork Revolution. We got Perfect Dark. Here, we got to go PlayStation China Hero Project, because there's games that we're not including just yet. If you're going to include, yeah, Blade, thank you. We will add Blade to Xboxes. All right. China Hero Project. Games released so far. We're not going to count any of these. Games in production. Lost Soul aside. Convaleria. Exilage. You got to count all these games, boys. You guys want to sit here and play this roadmap game, and I'm telling you, people always want to leave out all these other games that they're publishing. You got Exilage, Deba. We went and looked at all these games. A lot of the China Hero games look really, really cool. There's also the India Hero Project games. There's 2 India Hero Project games. Yeah, Awaken Astro Blade hasn't come out yet, I don't think. I think it came out for Steam, but it hasn't. I don't know if it's landed yet. These are all publishing efforts. All these China Hero Project games, they all count. Insomniac making an X-Men game, that's not announced. That we can't count that. That was from a leaked roadmap, so that might not even happen. That'd be like trying to count Spider-Man 3. We can't. I don't think that's fair. I'm not putting the next Halo on here either. Like that, we know they're making it. I guess we could put the next Halo on there because they've announced it. I guess we could say that one counts. I'll let that one count. But if it hasn't been announced, I'm not counting it. Because we're talking about roadmap, right? We're talking roadmaps. You guys won't talk about publishing as first party. Okay. Well, every single one of these, I'm copying and pasting every single China Hero Project game. I'm doing it. Cory Barlog's game has not been officially announced. Yeah, leaked roadmaps don't count, no dice. So let's just make sure we're not missing any. I've not even added the Mina Hero Project. I've not added the India Hero Project. I've not done it. Okay. So PlayStation first party, these are announced games, because everybody keeps saying PlayStation has no games and PlayStation has no roadmap. Yote, Intergalactic, Death Stranding 2, MLB The Show, Saros, Wolverine, Lost Soul Aside, Phantom Blade Zero, Marathon, Fair Games, Fizzant, Convaleria, Exilage, Daba, Awaken, Willless, The Winds Rising, AI Limit, The Godslayer, Ran the Lost Islands, Unending Dawn, Brocade Clad Guard, Lulin. And I haven't even, that's just China Hero Project at the tail end there. I haven't included the Mina Hero Project or the India Hero Project. Xbox first party announced games: Fable, Perfect Dark, State of Decay 3, Clockwork Revolution, Everwild, Gears of War E-Day, OD, Doom the Dark Ages, South of Midnight, Outer Worlds 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, Towerborn, Blade, Next Mainline Halo. Like, you see what I'm saying? If we don't even include, we don't even include China Hero Project. If you feel like this is unfair because these are like smaller titles or whatever, well, then you can't count like Towerborn, right? I'm counting it all. Contraband, has Contraband been announced? Elder Scrolls 6, thank you. We are missing some. Elder Scrolls 6. Let's be fair here. Let's keep adding. When did they announce new Halo? They did when they rebranded the Halo Studios. Yeah, so Contraband's been announced. Elder Scrolls 6 has been announced. Are we missing anything else? Are we missing any games? There's two. Yeah, I got Perfect Dark on there. Fallout 5's not been officially announced. Yeah, we'll include Call of Duty 2025. It's not been announced. We'll include it. Project Gummy Bears has not been announced either. Yeah, I have Fair Games on here. Hang on. We got to add the PlayStation India project. There's 2 games there. PlayStation India Hero Project. There's 2 games there's a couple games there as well. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Loco and Bloody Boots. Again, if you're going to count Towerborn, if you're going to count every single thing they're investing in and trying to bring to market, then you got to count all these. Meteora and Fishbowl. Yeah, I had Fable on there. Mukti and Surrey. So we got India games here that are all announced on this India Hero Project official PlayStation website. And then we have Requital. And then we have the PlayStation Mina Hero Project. This has nothing official has been listed. So we have Mina, India, and China Hero projects. No games have been officially announced for the Mina Hero project. They're just saying that they're doing it. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Anything that's been announced that they're publishing is 30, okay? But PlayStation has no games. PlayStation has no games. PlayStation has no roadmap. These are all games that have been announced, that are either on an official website like China Hero or have been announced in a showcase or a state of play. I don't think Baby Steps is... I don't know who's publishing Baby Steps. We'd have to look that up. We come to Xbox. Make sure I'm not missing any. Fable, Perfect Dark, State of Decay 3, Clockwork Revolution, Everwild, Gears of War E-Day, Odie, Doom the Dark Ages, South of Midnight, Outer Worlds, Ninja Gaiden, Towerborn, Blade, Next Mainline, Halo, Contraband, Elder Scrolls 6, and the annual Call of Duty. We're not worried about where they're landing. I know these are all landing on PlayStation. We know that. Live service expansions. We're not talking about that. We're talking about roadmaps, games, new games coming to market. PlayStation has announced and is publishing 30 games. You want a roadmap. Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers. You guys keep listing games that are not being published by either of the platforms, I don't think, like Tony Hawk and stuff. We're looking for games published by either platform. So PlayStation has 30, Xbox has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Almost half. But PlayStation has no games and PlayStation has no roadmap. I'm gonna save this document and we can just refer to it and we can add stuff to it. They're just too shy of being half. If they were at 15, they'd have half. But do you see this narrative of like, yeah, PlayStation has no games. Where are the PlayStation games? Why don't we have any PlayStation roadmap? What are the PlayStation studios doing? I don't know. They've announced 30 games. They're either publishing efforts through China Hero or India Hero or through second-party relationships or their first-party studios. They've announced 30 games that are coming this gen. We don't have dates. That's what a roadmap is a lot of times, right? Xbox does that. They just throw out the games and tell you that they're coming. If you want to count Tony Hawk, then we get to count Days Gone, right? Yeah, Doom the Dark Ages is on there. Gears Collection has not been officially announced. We're only putting things here that have been officially announced because the big question and quandary was, well, where's PlayStation stuff? What's PlayStation doing? What sparked this was somebody came in and said, Xbox has 20 studios cooking. What's PlayStation doing? I don't know. They've announced more games that they're publishing and bringing to market than Xbox. South of Midnight's already on the list. Does Forza PS5 count? No. We're talking roadmap. I was misinformed. I do think you missed a couple of Xbox titles. Put the Xbox titles in chat that I missed. I want this list to be accurate. Put them in chat. PlayStation has Midnight Murder Club 2. They're publishing that? 33 Expedition? No, that is not being published by Xbox. No, Expedition 33 is being published by Kepler Interactive. That is not an Xbox publisher. Yo, Purple Haze with a gifted member takes us to 637. You don't know which ones? Well, then your observation doesn't mean anything. Night Rain? I have Everwild on the list. I do. I have Outer Worlds 2 on the list. I do. I'm even counting Ninja Gaiden 4 because Xbox is publishing it. I'm giving credit evenly. If they're publishing it, I give them credit for it. Okay, you're spending money, you're investing, you're publishing, you're bringing games to market. And I keep hearing that PlayStation has no games, PlayStation has no roadmap. PlayStation has announced and is publishing and bringing almost double the games to market that Xbox is, but these guys will just keep running with that false narrative and that lie. They're like, PlayStation don't have games, did it a bit. And it's like, well, no, let's actually look. What's been announced? I have Marathon. I have Kojima's OD game. I do. I have those games on there. I'll do it again. I'll run through the list one more time. So PlayStation, these are first-party announced games. These are things they are publishing. Yote, Intergalactic, Death Stranding 2, MLB The Show, Saros, Wolverine, Lost Soul Aside, Phantom Blade Zero, Marathon, Fair Games, Fizzant, Convaleria, Exilage, Daba, The Land of Waterscar, Awaken, Astral Blade, Will List, The Winds Rising, AI Limit, The Godslayer, Ran Lost Islands, Unending Dawn, Brocade Cladguard, Lulin, Loco, Bloody Boots, Meteora, Fishbowl, Mukti Suri Requital. These are all their publishing efforts in like China Hero and India. Then you go to Xbox. Fable, Perfect Dark, State of Decay 3, Clockwork Revolution, Everwild, Gears of War E-Day, OD, Doom the Dark Ages, South of Midnight, Outer Worlds 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, Towerborn, Blade, next mainline Halo game, Contraband, Elder Scrolls 6, and the annual Call of Duty. Oh, Midnight Murder Club is being published by them. So this one just grew. This list just grew. And here's the thing. Is KOTOR being published by Sony, the KOTOR remake? I don't know. Remakes on me. We start putting remakes on there, it gets messy. Lost Soul Aside is on there. And here's the thing. As a gamer, this list excites me. I'm like, this is a stupid amount of games that have been announced. Right? A stupid amount of games that have been announced. But you want to come in and be like, well, what's PlayStation doing? Where's their roadmap? Where are their games? Homie, they've announced 31 games that they're publishing. 31. You want a roadmap? Go look. China Hero Project. China India Project. All the games are listed. And they've announced games in their showcases or state of play, like Yote, Intergalactic, Death Stranding 2, MLB The Show, Saros, Wolverine, Lost Soul Aside, Phantom Blade Zero, Marathon, Fair Games, Fizzant. Those are all games they've announced. You just have this selective memory where you're like, well, Xbox just did something, so that erases everything that PlayStation has announced. The KOTOR remake is no longer tied to PlayStation to report claims. Yeah, it just gets muddy when you start including remakes and stuff. Like, we're not including, like, the Days Gone remaster. You forgot Blade? No, I have Blade on here. Yeah, Blade, I have it right after Towerborn. Yeah, Blade's right here. What do they mean if they're not publishing games on Xbox? I think maybe. Eating good from both sides. Exactly. I'm not at all trying to act like PlayStation's winning. I'm simply showing you you're believing a lie. Like, I'm interested in the truth. I think both Xbox and PlayStation have great lineups of announced games that they're publishing, and a bunch of these games, we don't have a clue when they're coming. We don't have a clue when their dates are. It's true on both sides. I'm not trying to tell you Xbox is worse or PlayStation's better. I'm saying they're both announcing tons of games and investing into tons of games coming to the market. So cut the crap with this, well, PlayStation has no games. What are they doing? Where's their roadmap? Where are their announcements? They've announced more games than Xbox. So why don't you flip the question around and ask that of Xbox, since they've announced less? Like, isn't it interesting when you're believing a lie and you think that Xbox has announced more and is bringing more to the market, and then you suddenly look at the facts and they're not? Are you going to turn around and then treat Xbox the same way you just were moments ago asking a PlayStation? Are you going to be consistent? No, you're not. You're not going to. Can you post the list here? I can. I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's complete. Oh, wait. Shoot. I put it at the top of my opening show. We can start counting seasons and episodes. Yeah, I'm not counting like, they do expansions in Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76. No, we're talking about roadmaps of new games coming out. That was the question. That was the question. That was the question. As if, Xbox is doing so much more and publishing so much more and has announced so much more. And when you look at the facts, wow, surprise, surprise. It's just another false narrative. It's just something that isn't true. It's something that's been made up by bad actors. But I'm the grifter and the liar, Maybe not informed good enough from the Sony side. I did not work and look it up. Thanks for the heads up. I respect your response. It's me. I respect your response. I do. Because you could have dug your heels in and called me a name or something, or just left and disappeared. No, I appreciate that. And listen, that is something I'm trying to do. It's like, okay, you've made a claim. Let's fact check the claim. Let's look and see. PlayStation actually has announced a lot, and they actually do have a ton of stuff listed and in the market that we know is coming, just like Xbox has. Like, I'm not going to sit here and wail on Xbox about State of Decay 3 and Perfect Dark and Everwild. Those are games they've announced that I'm interested in. They're like, we have no idea what they're doing. We have no idea. No, don't call me names. No, I did not. I said that your argument was stupid and had bad logic. I didn't call you names. Xbox is dead. I knew it. How many first-party games has Nintendo announced? I mean, Nintendo does whatever the heck they want. I mean, you can't really go to them. You can't really go to them and ask them for anything. You just can't. Yeah, Metroid and an unnamed Mario Kart. Now add every game, how many games PlayStation is getting since everything is coming. Well, and it gets a little hard to do that though, King, because a lot of the games, the China Hero Project games and the India Hero Project games are hitting PC day and date. So that gets muddy because I'm not looking at the list and saying, oh, these are games that PlayStation's publishing to you on your PlayStation. That gets muddy because, yes, Xbox games are coming over. Xbox games also hit PC day and date. The point is, if you're going to look at the companies and the brands and you're going to say, who is got, a better roadmap or more announced games or is publishing more games. If you're going to try to do that, then let's do it. I am happy to do that. And when we do it, strangely enough, PlayStation's announcing is publishing more. And here's the real kicker. They own less studios. So don't you think it's interesting? If all that matters are games, right? I thought that games are what matter, right? It's games that matter, right? I thought games. We're about games, aren't we? Aren't we all about the games? So, yes, Xbox owns more studios, that's a convenient scorecard than they're going to claim. They would go through that list that I made, and they'd erase tons of the games. They say, doesn't count, doesn't count, doesn't count, doesn't count, doesn't count, doesn't count. Why? Oh, because they don't own the studio. Do you see? It's like, so because PlayStation spends, and this is my opinion here, you're welcome to have your own opinion on this. I think PlayStation spends their money in a better way. I do. I think their spending is more effective. Instead of investing in buying studios, they're investing in publishing games and bringing games to the market. That's better for me. The money they spent on all that publishing, they would have spent, there'd be less games coming to market from their efforts if they spent the money on acquisitions instead, because acquisitions are more expensive. All Xbox did was acquire a bunch of studios who already had product coming to the market. Xbox is not adding more product to the market. If anything, they've shrunk product coming to the market because after they bought ABK, they shut some of the studios down. I think PlayStation spending is better. From a business perspective, from a consumer perspective of what I get, from an efficacy of ROI, as well as quantitative results of like how many games are coming to the market, I think Sony's better at spending money in the market. I do. Sony would spend like Microsoft if they could. I mean, but that's beside the point. They're more tactical because they have less to spend, and I think we get better results. What did the ABK deal do for you? Those Call of Duty games were going to come. They were going to come to the market. What did the Bethesda deal do? Doom was coming to the market no matter what. id Software was making Doom. It's not a new game. It's not something new that they invested in. They just bought it. That to me is like, I get more from PlayStation saying we're going to publish in India and China and we're going to partner with this studio and that studio and help bring their game to market. That's way better than just being like, oh, we own Doom now. Cool. It'll really change my experience when the game loads up and says Xbox Game Studios. I hope I get an achievement for that. Xbox gamers get them at a significantly cheaper price now? No, you get to borrow them on Game Pass. You're not getting them. You're renting them. Yes, it benefits you. It benefits Game Pass subscribers. The gaming populace is a whole lot bigger than the 20-something million people on Game Pass that can get day and date. Because there's about 10 million, 9 million in there that are on Game Pass Core. So they don't count. They're not getting those games day and date. There's only about 20 million people in the Game Pass funnel that are getting day and date. That's nothing in the grand scheme of the market. Like, that's nothing. The entire rest of the gaming market isn't getting anything extra from Xbox's publishing efforts. What sent us down this trail was somebody saying, well, what's PlayStation doing for us? What are they doing for us? I'll tell you what they're doing. They're bringing more games to the market than Xbox is, and they have less money, and they own less studios. How is this even a question? It doesn't make any sense to me. How is this even a question? They're bringing more games to market with less money and less studios. Tony Stark built this in a cave. Like, that's what it feels like. It's like PlayStation's doing it with less money and less studios. But you want to talk about who owns the studios. That's convenient. That is such a convenient scorecard. Well, congratulations. They own these games that were already coming to the market anyway. Oh, and you saved some money. What a win for gamers. I thought we were about games, not saving money. Like, I became a fan of games because of the games. Like, I'm a fan of games because I grew up playing video games. I'm not clipping coupons on Sunday trying to get the games cheaper. Like, what are we even talking about here? It's eye-opener, I have to say. I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you. There are going to be so many people that over the course of the next 24 months are going to say, I was lied to. It's coming. I'm telling you right now, it's coming. It is coming. People are going to say, hey, Mr. So-and-so, you told me on your podcast that this is where the industry was going and that making games multiplat was where the industry is going. Why is PlayStation continuing to invest in games exclusive for their platform? Why? Why are they continuing to bring exclusives to the market? You told me this was going to be better for me in the industry. People are going to wake up. You told me PlayStation had no roadmap and wasn't bringing as many games to the market, and apparently they're bringing more. You told me PlayStation games were boring. You told me PlayStation games were movie games. And they're going to realize, boy, oh boy, have I been misled. Eugene says, it's me, welcome. You're not the first to realize you've been sold a bunch of snake oil by AstroTurfers. I like my Sunday coupons. Console wars have been a thing. It's been healthy for gaming. It's just the noise now around it, which is hard to stand. Right. We've already had people go through this experience. We really have. We've had people say, I feel like I was lied to. They get a PlayStation and they start playing the games. They start playing like Horizon and God of War, and they're like, holy crap. I've been lied to. These games are incredible. They're not boring movie games. They're at a higher caliber. Man, I'm telling you, you play Tsushima, Director's Cut, Returnal, Ratchet and Clank, Forbidden West, God of War Ragnarok, Spider-Man 2, Gran Turismo 7. You play games at that caliber, and you will see that you have been lied to. Multiplat games are better? No, they're not. I don't know if I played a multiplat game this gen at the quality of first-party PlayStation Studios. I don't know if I played one at the quality. I don't think that I have. Baldur's Gate 3, I'll give you that one. But again, that's such a unique instance of like, oh my gosh, they invested how long in early access? Baldur's Gate 3 practically proves my point. It wasn't even really a multi-plat game. It was let's get it as good as possible on PC first and then make it multi-plat. It almost proves the axiom, like build for one platform first. I don't care if you build for PC first. All I'm talking about is, if you want to act like PlayStation's losing or PlayStation's bad or PlayStation's not worth playing, it's like, it takes an exception like Baldur's Gate 3 to even like tip the scales. Excluding Split Fiction. Split Fiction is at a very, very good quality, but I don't know if I would put it on par with like a Forbidden West. The scope and what you do isn't even really comparable. You know, you called God of War Sad Dad Walking Sim. Everybody has. I didn't call it that. I played God of War 2018 that blew my dadgum mind. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is a good example. Right. You have to go to very extreme examples to even make it a contest. You got to go to like Baldur's Gate 3 or like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Like, there's these rare exception multiplats that just crush it with quality and depth. But for every Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, you got a Monhun Wilds. You know? For every Baldur's Gate 3, you got a Jedi Survivor. These games just come to market in terrible shape. Not even close to the quality of a PlayStation Studio game. I didn't believe the hype. The hype is real. Horizon Zero Dawn blew my mind. Eugene's quoting me. That's right. I will always give multiplats their flowers when they crush it, but the pattern has been, if a first-party studio from PlayStation kicks out a game, I know it's going to be at quality. It's going to be incredible. No doubt in my mind. Yeah, you'll have the rare, the Red Dead Redemption 2s of the world for sure. But you have to remember the sheer quantity of AAA multiplats that come out every year. You have to know the vast majority of them are not at that caliber. You have the breakouts, Red Dead Redemption 2. You have the breakouts, Baldur's Gate 3, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And then the rest are like, they're fine. They're not bad, but they're also not like blowing your mind. Did Red Dead Redemption 2 come as a multiplat? Multiplat console, yeah. I'm not trying to dismiss the PlayStation Studio games. There's a chunk of them that I'm just not interested in. I'm not talking about interest. Witcher 3 did not ship at quality. It was super glitchy at launch. That's a bad example. They had to do a lot of patching and a lot of apologizing. You still got that Game of the Year list? Yeah, in the last 10 years, PlayStation Studios have had, 13 Game of the Year nominations? I mean, what are we even talking about? It's like, it's the caliber and the quality is just, it's rare. I'll say it this way. It's rare that a multiplat matches the quality. It really is. Elden Ring did not launch at that level. They're not even trying to do any of the next gen fidelity or any of that. Like, Elden Ring was a masterpiece, but it had all sorts of issues when it launched. Like, I am not trying to convince you that PlayStation is the best. I'm trying to convince you they're a whole lot better than people have been telling you they are. They act like they're bad, they're lame, they suck, they're anti-consumer, their games are boring, their games are movie games, they have no roadmap, blah, 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 blah. And whenever you look at the facts, it's like, none of that's true. That's just a bunch of propaganda. The best way to play Elden Ring was the PS4 version on the PS5. Yeah, I don't think Elden Ring is one you want to trot out and be like, yeah. Elden Ring was a triumph of multiplat. No, it had a lot of issues. I don't care about things being glitchy. Is the game better or not? No, I care about things being glitchy because that's a measure of quality. What do you mean? So, like, who cares that, like Jedi Survivor ran like crap and had screen-tearing entire game hitches and frame drops? What do you mean? That's immersion breaking. That destroys the experience. I couldn't play it. It was so bad. Overrated, still stutters this day. It's in terrible shape on PC still. It's embarrassing. The score is bad. Give me 1 second. I'm messing with something. Elden Ring runs bad. It runs a whole lot better now than at launch, but it had all kind of frame stutters and frame pacing issues at launch. Don't do that. Don't act like, oh, that game was great. It had no problems at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will never be able to look at a game like that and just like look the other way. Like, yeah, like with Black Myth Wukong or like the situation with Monhun Wilds. I'm never going to be able to look the other way and be like, yeah, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. What are you talking about? Hang on a minute. Hang on. Yo, Manuel, 18 months, little been a while since I cut a live stream. Oh, by the way, if you guys want the Saturday stream, you're about to run out of time. You're running short on time. It needs to be at 700 before this stream ends, and we are rapidly approaching that. So you're gonna want to make a scramble. I set it a little bit higher than normal. I'll add Manuel's in just a minute. I'll add his in just a minute. But you got like just a few minutes here, and we got to shift gears. Hang on. And a 10 bomb from Terminal Stupidity. Sorry, I'm going quiet because I'm having to read and I'm having to type. I apologize for the sudden radio silence. I am sorry. I don't like to do that. But I've got to spin a lot of plates here. I'm trying to get something ready. Let's do that. Okay. If you guys have enjoyed the stream today, the livelihood, the debates, the back and forth, just be sure that you hit that like button. Hit that like button. And I have a video. About GTA 6 at 30 FPS versus 60 FPS. And my prediction is that it will be at 60. And you guys basically have 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes and we're going to go there. So you have 5 minutes to scramble. I do need to add the one member renewal to bump it to 648. So you guys are 52 members away. And again, I made it a little bit higher than usual because it will be a Saturday night stream, which is typically when we're hanging out and just chilling on the couch. The conversation was about game shipping at quality, not about games we personally prefer. That's exactly my point. The level of quality that I get from PlayStation first-party studios is I get great performance, great graphics, very polished, high-level production from the voice acting to the worlds built to the everything. And a single comes in from Demetrius. He says, "Come on, boys." And he gets it super close to 650. We're one away. I'll owe you guys some members at 650. And putting us on the doorstep. You got 5 minutos. And Stone Spire gets us to 650. That is a 50 bomb away. I'm not going to sit here and say I believe in miracles, but it has happened before. Great show. Thank you. What's happening? GTA 6 announcement. Okay, so I have a video coming in 4 minutes about how I actually think GTA 6 will be 60 FPS. They'll have a mode for it, and I base it off of some of their behavior. I base it off of something that they've done recently, but I also base it off of the industry and gamers. And Marco jumps in at a member plus, and that counts as 2, helping us work on the next milestone. We hit 600 people today at member plus and above, and you just added to that count, Marco. Thank you. The next milestone will be 700. We will be celebrating with an IRL stream. I don't know when it'll be, though. So you're now 48 away. You have 4 minutes. I cannot extend. I cannot extend because we're going to this premiere. I was waiting to hear somebody mention the quality. I care more about quality than the amount of games. For sure. The next console, they should do away with 30 FPS altogether, and all gaming will be better. I agree. If you can hit a fastball, you can see faster than 24. Hey there, I've been on the road today. What's the quick rundown of the news today? We got a video coming in 3 minutes about GTA 6 at 60 FPS. I believe they've been doing some things. Literally, Rockstar just did some things recently in GTA 5 that put me on this trail. Also, a bunch of new footage from Assassin's Creed Shadows, as well as the PS5 Pro enhancement details. Also, Starfield apparently has an exciting update coming this year, and we don't know what it is. So that's it. And you guys have 3 minutes to secure a Saturday evening stream. Madam and I will be streaming tonight playing Split Fiction. Hilly and I are also playing Split Fiction this afternoon for members as well. So you guys will be able to enjoy that. And then the Saturday stream is just an extra incentive that we've been wanting to do as a way of just giving you guys another opportunity to support the channel, but also as a great way to get more content. And we typically only like doing that Friday night stream. So if we're going to do an extra one, we want to make sure that it's something that we I think that's fair. It's like Saturday night's kind of tough, but I like it. Oh yes, and I'm going to be on Porter Rock's show in 4 hours. In 4 hours, I'll be on a show with Porter Rock over on his channel. I'll probably redirect you guys from members if we can get it set up. So in 2 minutes, you guys have 2 minutes to extend. I don't know if you're going to be able to pull a buzzer beater here. I don't know if it's going to be possible to extend. Yeah, 6 p.m. Eastern for Porter Rock. No, I'm sorry, not extend. If you guys want to secure, the Saturday stream, we're super close. Well, we're not super close. Are we starting after the upload? We don't have to start immediately after the upload, Hilly, but I was going to send everybody to the stream and just kind of chill and wait. If you're ready, then yeah, we can. If you're not ready, it's fine. I don't want you to feel rushed. All right, you guys have 60 seconds. It's the final countdown. Should we let P-Rock know that Xbox is better? You can, no worries. Okay, cool. I'm going to spam a link in chat. Guys, redirect does not always work. Your support on these uploads has been just incredible lately, so thank you to everybody who has been doing that. If you're interested, I've been kind of dangling and teasing this video all day about, Xbox. I'm sorry, not Xbox. Grand Theft Auto being at 60 FPS. The video is going to start any minute. Eknor Spirit is about to send a 50 bomb. This is it. The video's starting any second. I'm going to spam the link. All right? It looks like you guys were not able to secure the Saturday night stream. And I am sorry about that. I had to make it a big goal, dude. Madam was not going to want to do a Saturday night stream. Okay, the video just started. There's a link in chat. I will also redirect you over. Guys, make sure when you pile on these videos that you hit like and leave a comment. I'll see you over there.